Oh, that's
parts.
great. And, yeah, I mean,
Use your
triple
headphones
scoops.
so you can hear
Triple
yourself.
scoops.
That's a great
Triple
idea.
scoops.
Yes. It's important.
Yeah, I think
We'll
everybody
talk
likes
about
ice
it. We'll
cream.
talk.
Oh, yeah, we're good. It's an official document.
Yes. Yeah.
Library of Congress.
Hey, never know.
Right.
Posterity.
Yeah.
Whoa. Speaking of
Welcome
posterity.
everyone to Our Town Podcast. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, share if you can, and review if available. We'd love to hear from you, so comment below and tell us how we're doing.
Yes.
Don't forget to visit ourtownpodcast.com for all the links and join the members only section of the website or sign up on Patreon. Now here are the boys of Our Town Podcast.
Every time.
Well, welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Our Town Podcast.
No, it's extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Coming to you from the I Am Renton space here in beautiful downtown and historic Renton, Washington. Real quick, boys, tonight's safe word is bong. And that's because this is our last opportunity to tell you folks out there about Gong Show
Gong
coming
Show.
9/14. So a week from, this Saturday if you're watching this, because this is Tuesday when it comes out. So get down to Delancey's on
delay.
3rd.
Do not delay. Camp out in front of the...
Doors at
The door,
7,
yeah.
and show starts at 8, and there's hilarity is going to ensue.
Oh, yeah.
We've got comedian judges, we've got fabulous prizes, lots of huge variety of different acts that we've got. I don't know what to expect. I'm going to be doing a
That's
couple
the beauty of
things.
it.
I hear there's an unknown comic
Yeah,
that
we'll
we
see
don't know
what
who
happens.
he is. This might show up.
I mean, yes.
So if anybody
Hilarity.
feels unsafe tonight and you want to stop this here program so we can check out, you just yell bong, and we'll stop this program. And
Can you do a pigeon English G-knob?
you can do whatever you want, Mike. You're Mike.
G-knobbing.
But speaking of Mike, we might
have a
need to
special
go
guest.
by one of Mike's
I'll be Mike
high
the
school
Lesser.
nicknames.
He's Mike the Greater.
Because we have a
Yes.
second Mike in the house
fantastic.
tonight
Yeah.
with
Thanks
us.
for being here.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Fusone.
Fascion.
Fascion.
Yeah.
God, I'm going
It
to
just
get
gets
it one
better
of
every
these
time you
days.
say it.
I know, it just is awesome. Mike is, are you you're the guy, you're the owner of Fun First Productions,
Fun First Productions, yes.
based right here in Renton, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Actually, I'm in Pacific.
Oh, you're in South.
But yeah, we do events.
Okay.
in
Gotcha.
Renton.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Gotcha.
Right around
Awesome.
the corner here. Yeah.
Mike and Fun First Productions is coming out with their first game, hopefully one of many, called Triple Scoops with the cherry on top.
Yes.
And the rumor is that you're getting them tomorrow
Tomorrow.
or Saturday, sometime this week. You're going to have
it's
them in
going
your
to
hot
be
hands.
by the end of this month.
Okay.
So yeah,
Sure.
so it's production is done, but it will be shipping soon, and it will be here
Nice.
by the 20th. Well, they say the 20th, so I'll say between the 20th and the 30th.
So did you do a Kickstarter for this?
No.
Okay.
It's self-produced.
Yes.
great.
Had an awesome investor, and yeah, everything was in-house and straight to market.
Nice.
Jeez.
Because we were talking earlier, it's a family affair because your daughter did most of the art for this project, right?
Yes. As I said, I probably put in like 4.2%
Yeah.
of the art. I'm an artist myself, but she is awesome. So we definitely let her do her thing. I kind of had my hand in some of the direction, but yeah, she's the one who brought it to life. Because when the game concept first came, basically, can I tell a story a little bit?
Yeah.
Go for it, yeah.
So my daughters were at the time they were 10 and 12,
Okay.
right? And we were playing games, and I was trying to get them into my world, and so just simple card games like Sushi Go and Munchkin, stuff like that.
Yep.
And I had a bunch of designs because I've done game design. I've been in the industry before and everything. So, but I've had a bunch of just designs that I've been tinkering with and working on. And I'm like, maybe I should do something for us to play together. So I asked them, what should I make a game about? My youngest daughter said, make a game about ice cream.
Heck yeah.
And
Oh, hell yeah.
and so I went to the lab and made a game about ice cream. So for the first 2 years of its life, and it wasn't like I was working on it constantly for 2 years straight. It was just ice cream and ice cream cones, right? That's all it was. And didn't really have any art for it yet. I had some little makeshift art that I did. But once I saw my oldest daughter's art just getting better and better and better, I was like, that is professional. That should be in a game. And then, at first I started thinking like, okay, what kind of game can I put these characters in that she's drawing? Then I looked back at the ice cream game is what it was called at the time. And I'm like, this is it. So I brought her in and I told her, and that weekend she had tons of art. Like she just cranked it out. She created a style just for Triple Scoops, and
Nice.
many iterations.
Yeah.
And now it's what it is. But she's put a lot of work into it.
Isn't that kind of how most art works? I mean, you have the basic idea, and then you revise it a number of times until you have it just a tight project.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's funny is So we're launching, right? Like I said, we'll have the shipment in hand by the end of this month. But we've launched before, right? So it's like, oh yeah, we're ready, let's do it. So we did the print on demand via Game Crafter. So we did that. What's funny is we actually did a release party. We're like, yeah, we're excited about it. It's even though it's Game Crafter, print on demand and everything. So we said, okay, let's do an ice cream party. So we did this ice cream party, invited people. In between the time that we had the party, before the party came up, but we already put the invites out. There was just something that was like, what, this is not it. We need to truly launch this. And I kept going back and forth with I want to go small. I gotta incrementally get up there and everything. And I was just it was just that feeling inside me, like, no, I have to go big, and part of it is because, and we can get into the game, but I really love modular, and to make it small, it can't be, right? So I wanted to give the players a sandbox to play in, and we have everything, we have all the parts, right? So I want to give as much of that as I can in one box. So I had to go big, and if I go big with POD, the price point is going to be crazy. So we made that decision before the ice cream party, and we still have the party though.
Well, you got this ice cream.
We would have just tons of ice cream for no reason. But no, so we plan on doing another ice cream party.
Yes.
So probably next month,
And you're taking pre-orders right now, right?
yeah, pre-orders are up. Now, here's the thing: we're doing everything grassroots.
Yeah.
Right. And this is the one area, I've learned a lot of stuff in the industry, right? Like design, development, art, graphics, layout, rules. Some stuff dealing with, the manufacturer and distributors and all that stuff. But I wasn't so much into all the business side of things. But I think one of the biggest things for me is marketing, right? And for games, that is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't put it in front of people, it's not going anywhere.
Right.
But really wanting to do things grassroots and just also play to the strengths that we have, what we have in-house. We have an artist in-house, we have a graphic designer in-house, we have a designer in-house and everything. the marketing side is something that I'm learning as I go.
Yeah.
And even though I've been a in-house graphic designer for a company, and my title was actually marketing. But anyways, I did a lot of marketing before. But this is a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Right. And for some reason, I can't get away from the grassroots and being at the table with people. Right. Like, so trying to find as many local events. That's why you look familiar. And, and familiar
Because Todd hits them all.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
trying to, get out there and put it in front of people.
Yeah, I'm totally with you because
Yeah.
when we launched our games, we put them on Amazon and we were on Amazon and they sold, a few here, a few there.
Right.
But it's Amazon, right? And it's a big thing. And we got a whole bunch of our friends and family to do reviews, right? And
Right.
try to boost it up and all this stuff. And we, one a week, one every couple of weeks, right? But then I would go to events. I'd go to like Captain Slinky's Odd Mall, or I'd go to what was some of the Renton cons that we had here.
Renton Retro, I think, or no, it was well
Before
back
it was
then.
King Con.
Before
Before
King
King
Con,
Con,
it was
yeah.
Renton City
But
Comic
yeah, man, I
Con.
would have it laid out for people, and they'd come by and like, what do you got? And then I would explain the game, and I'd show them some of the cards and play a hand or something, and they go, man, yeah, I'm in, right?
Right.
Because you can, they can feel it, touch it, smell it, the whole thing.
Exactly.
And,
And
your enthusiasm is it's contagious
Yes.
as well.
And so here's the thing, like, as I said, we are in pre-orders. So pre-orders up now, and if you get it now, it's free shipping. So
That's nice.
we didn't do any kind of like blast, like marketing, like, oh, pre-orders and do a big announcement.
Yeah.
If you look at our Facebook page, it says pre-orders open, but I didn't even do any kind of announcement, right? But we went to Dragonflight and we did the booth there at our table, and most of the pre-orders came from the people who came and played the game.
Yeah.
And it's still happening, right? Like, there's other events that we're looking to get into, but I think once the games come in, I have some things set up with various stores as far as Portland. So
That's
and
nice.
Lake Chelan and
Oh, that's nice.
other places.
Yes.
Got to get on the ferry for a couple.
Yeah.
But so my plan is to get out there and truly do the grassroots thing.
Have you been, when you say you go to Lake Chelan, have you been going in and talking to the store owners directly and stuff like that? Or are you working with, because I know
yeah.
there's a company here locally that does the board game distribution,
Yeah.
but then they take a cut and then,
Right. You got the middleman.
You got the middleman, and then the
There's two
stores
middlemen,
are
yeah.
like, yeah, I got to be at like 40% profit margin, so you got to sell me your game for X amount, and you're like,
Right,
I'm making
you
a
kinda
buck.
cut it in half and then cut it in half.
Yes.
Again. No, actually, this is from someone that I know. Thing 12 Games.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sean and Sean, they're awesome guys. One of them is kind of like what you mentioned earlier. One of them calls himself the Greater Sean, and
No,
but yeah, so one of them is located in Lake Chelan now, and he's
Okay.
opened up his own game store.
Oh, nice.
Right on.
Yeah, so kind of relational, right? You build relationships
Yeah.
and you talk to people.
Yeah.
So and what's great about this industry is it's kind of easy, right? When you go in and game stores and they're like, oh, you're a local designer, like, yeah, we can do something. So it's not a hard thing to do. I'll say before I had the game and the whole game crafter thing was going on, and I was planning to go past that and do like a full thing like we're doing now.
Yeah.
But I went on that run of like going to stores and talking, and it's difficult when you don't have product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you
They
want
want to see it. They want to look at the size of it.
and it's also like, and it's also a business,
Yeah.
right? Like, so it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, cool, come in and do your thing. Especially when they have open game days, and,
Sure.
and it's board game night, and
Yeah.
there's no complaint there, unless you're like in playtest mode,
Yep.
and you're trying to get people to playtest your game for you, and then it's kind of like, what are you doing? But But yeah, they want product, and I think so. When I was talking to my wife about this, is like understanding what strengths are and where I shine is in events, right? Like being at the table and
People
talking to
person.
people. And and engaging and like here's the game, this is how it plays, and having fun, right? Fun first, right? So I'm gearing everything towards that. Now the areas where I'm lacking, my plan and what we're doing now is just trying to build up a team, slowly but surely, and trying to fill in those gaps, right? So like when it comes to social media and all those different things, I kind of feel like I'm not the best when it comes to that. I try to be engaging as much as I can here and there. I still have the 9 to 5, although it's not really 9 to 5.
But we get you.
Does anybody have a 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Like, does that exist?
Well, mine kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, I was,
8 to 5.
I did 5 to 1.
I mean, day job is, probably more accurate.
But it's still, responsibilities other than your like desired hustle.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I always say if I didn't have a regular job, I would
But
be
it's-
dangerous
yeah,
because I
and-
get so much done.
Yeah. That's why they're keeping you
So-
down, man.
That's important because it's what the whole thing of having time and not having time. Like, oh, I didn't have time for that. I didn't have time for that. Once you start saying I did have time, but I chose not to do it, then you begin to look at it, in that perspective of, what am I doing with my time?
Yeah.
And then what do I really want
Where's
to
my
fill my time
priorities,
with?
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did I binge watch something on Netflix?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing with my
Yeah.
time? Can I be designing? Can I be
Yeah.
doing smart? Can
If we could just not have the 8-hour sleep night and just skip a couple.
Well, if I could choose, I'd skip the day job.
The day job, yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I'm with you.
I like sleeping.
I usually try to get up like a lot earlier than I have to go, so that's a lot of design time for me, right? Like that fresh, you're open, and it's like, oh, I can create,
Yeah.
right? And but it kind of comes in waves. But once you start putting things in order and prioritizing like what you really want to do, it makes it easier to say no to the other things,
Yeah.
right? It makes it easier to say, I'm going to use my time for this, and it's like it's being good to your future self, 'Cause,
Yeah, it really is.
your
It put
future
an
self-
investment in anyway, right?
Yeah.
The results are never guaranteed, right? But it's a positive investment in that future self, right?
Right. You never regret like doing something positive towards that good end,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But you will regret the binge
Not
watch.
doing it.
You
Yeah.
will regret the time that you wasted.
Time is
You know what I
fleeting.
mean?
It is.
So
Are you working on more games? Are you constantly like I am too? It's like, oh,
Right.
I got another idea for it.
Oh, yeah.
Jot
I
stuff
mean-
down. And,
the game designer mind is it's nonstop. It's always on, right? Like you go about your day and you're like, oh, this could be a game. That could be a game, right? Like, but honing in on triple scoops and like going all in on it, because I have folders and folders of games, right? Like I have all kinds of game designs. But once we decided like this is what we're doing, we're putting everything into it, it kind of opened up the doors, right? It's kind of like confining ourselves to this expanded thing
Yeah,
for us,
yeah.
right? And one of the things that we're doing is Triple Scoops is an ice cream shop in a small town, right? So guess what the town's name is? Funtown.
Nice.
I want to move to fun.
So-
I do too.
So in Funtown, Triple Scoops is it's a mom and pop shop, right? And everything in Funtown is mom and pop shops. Kind of like downtown Renton.
Yep,
right? And so what the desire is to get the community that's revolving around the game, that we build through the game, to create the rest of Funtown. Whether it be just because I really want to see a skate park, I really want to see we need a bakery, or
Sure.
getting the people involved. I want Funtown to be built by the people of Funtown.
Yeah.
You know, so imagine like if it's a mom and pop shop, it doesn't exist without mom or pop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to get all the mom and pops in. So
And
that we
that's
can
what you
build it
mean
out.
when you say modular? This could-
Well, no. So that's a different thing. But what I mean about modular is the actual gameplay itself.
oh, okay.
So it's like a sandbox, right? Like when you play the game, it's a shared deck, but the deck is going to be different every time you play, right? So it's going to be different. You have different effects afforded to you, you know, different card actions that you can do based on the deck that you choose to build. So it's like, I mean, it's not a deck builder, but you build a deck. Then
Is it more strategy versus luck, or is there kind of components of both?
It's components of both. I really, I like to have like strategy intertwined with what, you know, luck or randomness.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of this, to me, right? The way I design games is I like to be surprised, and I like to surprise others, and I like to have a puzzle to solve, you know. But I don't want it to be like just this math equation that once I figure it out, like, oh, I see all the cards in Dominion that's out there, like, okay, so now I'm gonna deck build,
Yeah.
province, game over, right? And it just becomes stale, right?
Yeah.
And there's no hate on Dominion. I love Dominion, but you know, once you learn that game and you look at the cards that's available, you can just like
you can dominate other players?
yeah, you dominate it. Unless you're going in fresh and not knowing, and then you
Yeah.
get that surprise, like, oh, this works together with this. In this game, there's always that, right? I say there's more tactics than strategy. Although the strategy comes in when you have like you have a secret assignment and like, oh, I need to get these types of flavors, you know.
Some in-depth stuff going on.
Yeah,
I like it.
so you know, you got your secret assignment and you're trying to get specific flavors to gain points.
Okay.
So you automatically have a strategy in that regard, but the tactics comes in turn to turn because you have your hand of cards that you get to play, and it's like a puzzle. I need to serve these customers, and I gotta line up all the scoops in the proper order. And it's not just simple, okay, I have the scoops, so I'm gonna play them in order. Well, you might be missing that vanilla.
Right.
But guess what? Mike over here has it.
Yes,
and
I do.
have a swap, and I'm gonna play it, and then I'm gonna swap. Here, have orange.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of interplay. And you can, and the thing about it is, what's awesome is it is modular. So the style of play that you like, you can cater to that by the actions that you choose. If you don't want people messing with your stuff, and you want it more like chill, like, you know, you do you, I do me, then you might not have the swaps or the swipes in the game. But if you want, like, oh man, I want that head up, like, really, then you put all of that stuff in there. So
What ages are you gearing us towards?
10 and up.
10 and up, okay.
Although we have played with younger.
Yeah, it depends on the kid sometimes, but
It depends on the kid, and then your patience with the kid. So, what's funny is that you talked about, do we have any other games in mind? We talked about Funtown, but so one thing we were talking about doing is for smaller kids version. And I kind of played with using the game in itself and just doing a different mode, which the game has many different modes, right? You can play 2-on-2, you can play 1 versus 1, but each player gets 2 characters. You can play cooperatively, everyone versus the fun festival, you know, so the kids are in a line, but they're at the fun festival, which they have every week because it's Funtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
come on, Renton.
so we got the kiosk out there serving ice cream, but right across from the kids in line is the merry-go-round and the cotton candy stand and
yeah.
the face painting and all the other stuff. And
Yeah,
and
how
they're
do you keep them
distracted.
engaged? Yeah.
Right, so like you're trying to serve them ice cream and they're leaving. So you have to work together as a team to serve enough customers before they all leave.
That's a great idea because then it changes up the game depending on how you want to
Yeah,
play it.
yeah.
So you got a lot of replayability and
Yes, yes.
some different
so
scenarios.
many different modes. There's even the one on everyone else mode. So one versus everyone else.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Me whenever
in
I play Magic.
Funtown, there was a meteor that crashed, and after that, there were stories of people glowing and great feats that they were doing. So in this scenario, one of the scoopers, I call them scoopers, it has the glow.
That's the
Right.
super
Zombies
scooper.
in
So
Funtown.
they're the super scooper, yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
so everyone else has to play against the super scooper. Yeah, so it's endless, and I do, once it's out there and we get more engagement with the people that's playing the game, I really want to welcome people into coming up with their own modes and all of that.
Coming up with new.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Do you, and I know it sounds 100% creative and original, but do you feel like taking games from your youth and games you've played in the past, do you feel like you've added some of those kind of elements or some of those strategies or some of those?
Some part cheesy up in there?
Well, I would say
No.
from the past, I think I was really stuck on Hearthstone for a while.
I haven't played that.
You haven't played it?
No.
It was a digital card game.
Okay.
Kind of, a Magic the Gathering type deal.
This lesser Mike.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Lester Mike's Pro MTG.
I've always liked card games and having that randomness of like, okay, I'm going to draw this. Now I have. It's tactical, right? Like I have these cards, so this is what I can do.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping I can get, part of the cards I get, right?
Because and I'm not jump into my game, but compatibility I had sent out. It's a kids game, kids of all ages, but it's kind of a gin rummy, but with animals,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
You're matching animals that can survive together, that can tolerate each other, so you can adopt the hand and take them home.
Oh, okay,
and I
yeah.
sent it off to a reviewer, and I was like, oh yeah, it's fun, but the one problem I have is there's no strategy, and it's just all luck because it's luck of the draw, and I'm like, well, that's kind of the thing, right? Because
a
you never
card
know.
game. Yeah.
You're going to go to the animal shelter and you're going to see an animal. You never know what you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't hoard all cats because all cats don't get along with each other, and you can't hoard all of something else, right?
Yeah,
So-
you can't hoard cats and you cannot herd.
No, you
Yeah,
can't hurt them
yeah,
either.
yeah.
Yeah, dogs
I know
maybe.
that.
I mean, you can hoard cats, but then it becomes a massive problem.
Yeah, and then the apartment gets a little stinky and stuff. So
Yeah, and your bathtub turns into a cat box. Yeah.
Greater Mike, I want to ask you about your game crafters experience, because I looked at them and thought, okay, this is a cool idea, but I know that they, the markup stuff. So
What
for
is
you
it?
guys, it's a place that you can go. It's
aware of it.
online, and you have a game idea, and they'll help you build it, all the boxes, all the pieces, all the cards, everything. And then, as Greater Mike was saying, when you order one, they make it to order, and then they send it. But it's really expensive to do.
Yeah, so-
you can do that with books as well.
I'll say, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can POD books. So I'll say Game Craft is awesome, right? They're awesome. Mainly for prototypes, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to do it as a business and sell it, you can do that, right? So they have they don't do crowdfunding, but they do crowd sales.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, the more people you get together, the cheaper per unit it's going to be.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was something that we were looking to do. obviously we.
And that way you don't need stock.
Yeah.
Stock is rough.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, you got to store it. You got to pay
I
for
have,
it up
I have a
front.
garage that I actually have some couches in there that I need to get rid of.
Yeah. So you can have room for games.
You guys need some couches in there, or we can.
No, but I'm thinking you could talk to Jeff and have a game extravaganza in,
No,
in
geez.
this space right here.
Yeah,
Because he's not doing much with it right now.
We'll do it. We'll talk. But yeah, so I think GameCrafter is awesome for definitely for prototypes. It's crazy. Their materials is top notch,
Nice.
especially when it comes to the cards.
That's good.
right?
Yeah.
Which could kind of spoil you, because then once you're gonna go into full production, and you're like, you can't match this. No. Yeah. So they are they're great. But if you're trying to like make this a business, then you probably want to look at doing, even if it's a short run, doing something that's gonna get your price point.
Yes.
Lower.
Yeah. I'm always thinking about that. Where can I cut some costs?
Right. So,
Okay,
but
so that's a fair question.
Yeah.
there are those that's doing pretty well, but it's there's not many. Right? It's not like you're gonna go there and it's lucrative. It's
But
not.
you, so the manufacturer that you use, they're doing the whole shebang, right? They're doing all the printing, all the pieces, all the cards, and they're putting it all together, shrinking it.
Yep.
Shipping
they,
it back.
They do the whole
Yeah,
shebang.
UPC, the whole 9 yards. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
And you just send them all that stuff's on a email, and they just print out what needs to be, what it looks like, and what it's.
yeah. I'll say this for the GameCrafter. It's very user friendly. Right?
They are, yeah.
So I mean, I'm a designer, so the learning curve was low for me anyway. But it's easy to get into. Uploading files, and you can mass upload a whole deck of cards. And get it all together. When it comes to working with different manufacturers, because I talked to a number of them before I landed with the one that we're using, and it's kind of different each one, but it's similar in that you're sending files over, right?
Yeah.
But there's some where it's like, oh, we need to lay out the whole sheet. I'm like, really? Like, I can't just send you the cards separately.
Yeah.
And these guys that I'm
Oh,
with,
because they have to cut it a certain way or something like that.
yeah. So they have to set up the layout.
yeah.
But there was one particular manufacturer who, wanted me to do, all of that, or it was going to be like some extra charge.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Easy.
But anyways, that's
You didn't go through, that's not game, you didn't do game crafters for the whole, for your order that you got coming in.
no.
Are you good experience with who you did use? Are you pleased with?
Yes. And I'll shout them out. Do Fine Games.
Okay.
So Do Fine Games. I as I said, I went through a number, like maybe 5 different quotes.
See what they can do.
And kind
Get
of
some
had a little
samples,
back and
all
forth.
that stuff, yeah.
And
Choo-choo coming.
these
Comes the train.
guys, I do wonder if they can hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, they can.
No,
They can,
can for sure.
Because we got the fans on and stuff, but the cars
funny,
go
yeah.
by. So. Any airplane husks?
I move
You do?
at work, yeah.
No.
From time to time, I'll do it
Yeah.
every day, but yeah.
Yeah.
So choo choo.
No, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was I saying?
Oh, we're talking about the manufacturer.
Yeah, they did go with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I actually met them at Gen Con.
Okay.
So there was a particular I was kind of like weighing some manufacturers, and I was at a booth. I was there to help friends with their game company, and pretty big one actually. I make it sound like I'm helping them. They're helping me. They bring me out there and everything, but they were just walking by, and I saw them with their little logo, and I was like, You guys
Can I chat
manufacture
for a second?
Yeah. So we chatted. I got their car and we did a what was it? Not Zoom. What was it before? We did a Skype. We did a Skype.
Skype.
Like a week later, and from there, we did. I got the quote and all that, and been rocking with them ever since.
Nice.
And
Nice.
pretty much they blew everybody out the water when it comes to the price.
And the quality is just what you
quality.
needed.
Yeah, the quality is there.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is right there. So, I mean, I feel good about it.
Right on.
And, like, you get the advanced copy, you get the and everything, and if it wasn't what it needed to be, then yeah, I would have had to step back. But this is it, right? There's definitely things that I want to do a bit differently in the next run. But man, if I can't do this,
Yeah.
So
I was going to
this-
ask if we could pop it open.
yeah. So one of the things I'm proud of in here is I told you it was a modular game, right? So when you open the game, I kind of designed this along with them. The insert.
Oh, yeah.
So the insert has
Yeah, no, that's classic.
all the cards
Yeah.
because it's modular. You're going to make a different deck every time. So you take this stack of cards, and it has this symbol on it, right? And it tells you.
Ah.
And so you can just put them right back in here. And what's awesome is it stays pretty well together.
Through shipping, et cetera, yeah.
Take a few pictures. And throw it up.
Well, when it's shipped, it's all in a brick. Right? So you take it apart and then you put it laid out.
Oh,
The
gotcha,
sticker,
gotcha. Oh, sure.
they do
Yep.
the stickers, so it's already here, right? And then you got your tokens, and it's pretty much tokens and cards. But once you close it,
And it just looks fun.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you
I can't
you
get
go
over
this,
it.
Nice.
Yeah.
and it stays together. So as a player, this was really important to me. How am I
Yeah.
gonna get
Yeah.
the cards to
Yeah.
separate and
I've got plenty of games
So-
that have 5 times that many cards in a big box, and every time I open it, they're just
everywhere.
Yeah.
So speaking of Dominion, that was one of the things I looked at when I was trying to come up with this design. And in Dominion they have the sticker in the middle and all the cards. So that was part of my inspiration there.
Yes. Yeah.
But speaking of Dominion,
Yeah, I mean,
during
come on.
moving and shuffling around, my Dominion box, one of them, all the cards got all smashed up.
Oh, man.
Because they fell all over the place.
Yeah.
So that was important to me that the cards stay in place. That's why I did the little flip to kind of show that they
Yeah.
do stay in place.
That's awesome.
Milton Zone.
Yeah. So and you
Nice.
mentioned other
Do you hate it when people call your town specific?
specific. Yeah.
Have you been down there a long time?
No, it's going on 3 years, I think.
Right on.
We haven't been
Is that Pierce County? What is it?
Yeah. Right on the edge, right?
Yeah, I think it's still King.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Oh, it's King or, yeah.
South King, yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned other games, and I started talking about Funtown. We do have some stuff in the works already.
Okay.
So I talked about building community based off this game. We have a community now, but we are expecting it to grow as soon as we start getting it out there.
Yeah.
But we do have some games in the works. They're more on the infant stages, and
sure.
I have tons of content for this. Now I have enough for
Like
two
a
and a
booster
half of
pack
these.
or something.
Geez, that's great.
Well, so this one,
Yeah.
this one
what do you
has
call
10
it?
characters.
Like a booster expansion
Oh,
pack
Yeah,
or
so,
something. Yeah.
so some expansion ideas that we're working on right now, but then this one has 10 characters in it, and those characters dictate the card sets. So all those card
okay.
sets.
Yep.
So you can pick your character
Right.
to play. Okay.
And so basically you pick a scooper, and then you also pick the cards that go with that scooper. And everyone picks their scoopers. and then you take all those cards, shuffle it together, and that's the shared deck.
Okay.
Along with some other cards that are going to be in there as well. So there's 10 there. We have roughly 25 characters.
Wow.
Right, so there's 10 in here.
Yeah.
So we already have another set that's pretty much built up for, once this gets
Their own
gets
sets
to
of
a
cards.
certain place,
Yeah, sure.
we release the second set.
That's great.
How many cards does each scooper get?
6.
6 cards, okay.
So there's 6 different flavors. There's strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, blue raspberry, orange, and lime.
Nice. Everything but the blue raspberry.
Yeah, well, I in a
It's funny,
pinch,
I
bro.
Don't give it to lesser Mike.
I did a poll in my little social media engagement. I did do a poll about which flavors are the best, and the raspberry is always on the bottom. But it's funny because I needed, so color-wise, right, for the game.
Yeah, you needed something.
Yeah, so like we have the chocolate and the vanilla for the opposite colors.
Yeah.
We have the lime and the strawberry for opposite colors.
Okay.
And then so we have orange, and I needed something blue,
Yeah.
so blue raspberry.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people call it blueberry.
Yeah.
It's not, but when they do, I most of the time don't correct it.
I just got to interject. I'm watching something, I think it was on Facebook or something, where these English kids, these young men in an English school, and they've got a couple guys having them try American drinks, like Clamato and different, so like Orange Crush and stuff like that. And they got one guy's like, are raspberries blue in America?
Yeah, the blue ones are.
No, yeah.
It was all
Give
about
us
the color
time,
too.
give us
It's like
time.
they poured out
Some
some Mountain
boards,
Dew, and he's like,
medicines.
"Wait, this color is not in nature."
Right. Oh man, all of the additives. And
No,
It's just
yeah,
boring.
it's just crazy.
it is.
It's just crazy. So you've got kind of a plan for this perfect time right before the holiday season,
Yes.
right? That you'll have
Yes.
a bunch.
Yeah. So we're aware of that. We didn't plan that because it should have been here already.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
based on like what we were projecting before, like, oh, I want it here. I can get it done and have it here before Dragonflight, before I go to Gen Con,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's what I wanted to do. But it is going to be here in time for Christmas.
Yeah.
Nice.
So pre-order, guys.
Yes, perfect. Makes a great gift.
What's the website, real quick, for the?
Funfirstproductions.com.
Yep.
Yeah, you go there and we pretty much have the splash page up for.
Yeah, and there's a link right to the where you can purchase.
I think so. The website is. There's a lot of stuff hidden right now until we get to a certain point. But I think like the About Us is there, so you can like see our little bios at least. So there's something.
Yeah.
But we can go there to pre-order.
Yes. Yeah, you go straight to funfirstproductions.com and yeah.
And you said right now, if you pre-order, free shipping, right? So
Yeah.
now's
Jeez,
the
that's
And
best
good.
time.
I'll say, so since I haven't done like an official announcement yet, so I'll do it here so we know.
Nice.
Pre-order
It's a
before.
scoop. We're scooping.
Yeah. We're scooping.
Well, I mean, because
scoops.
I didn't give an end date for that, so I need to
Right.
do that. So,
Oh.
so we'll say September 20th.
There you go.
Right?
So get on it.
That's,
Have 2024.
24, yeah, because if you're watching this in 28 or something,
In the year
yeah,
29.
it's already blown
Yeah,
up, it's everywhere.
They're ordering to say, I didn't get free shipping. What's going on?
Oh, man.
And it just looks like fun.
Yeah.
You can't look at that box and think
And
you're not going to have
not
fun.
gonna have fun.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Oh, it's great fun. So what's awesome is, so I talked about doing the local con in Bellevue, and we had players that would come back. Because they have like schedules and scheduled play times. We had some players who would fill in for extra play times after they played the game once.
Oh, nice.
There was this one couple.
That's an awesome feeling.
Older couple who just came and just kept playing, and it's like, man, we got somebody waiting, and like, but we had 2 tables, so it was fine, and they really enjoyed the co-op version.
Nice.
But yeah, it's lots of fun, and what I really enjoy about it too is the community aspect. I talked about, the whole fun town and everything, but in the game, some of the characters are people that we know, right? People that's part of the community. And my plan is to continually do that as we grow, One thing I don't want to do is just like, I'm going to put you in so that you'll like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be those that's a part of it. Like, in the second set, not in this set, I have a character, one of the scoopers, Elijah, and his ability is flex because he's a buff guy, and but yeah, so like, but he from day one he was like really digging on the game, and he's a great advocate for it. So it's like, he needs to be in it, right?
Yeah.
So my nephew's in it as one of the scoopers as well. And then there's some friends, my daughter's friends, is some of the customers, stuff like that. So we plan to continually do that. And every once in a while, I'll get someone say, "How come I'm not in yet?" We'll see. We'll talk about it. Get there.
The next booster, the next
one. Yeah. But we have these other games lined up too, right? So my young nephew, he's 10 years old, and he came to me one of our game days because we do game days every Saturday, right? We do the all-day gaming once a month, but we come together most Saturdays, right? And he's made all these cards that he just wrote up, and it's like, okay, yeah, we can do something with that. And so we started having powwows, and there'll be something coming for that. And then there's some other like mom and pop stores that we're as a community started talking about bringing to life. And I kind of started in on it in the lab. So
for different games or add-ons to this,
And
because that's awesome. Because then you can, Funtown can be
just about
whole
anything.
universe of games.
a whole universe of different games, whatever you want to create there.
Yeah, and what we want to see too is these characters like being seen in the other.
Yeah.
So if you look here, there's all the bios of the
that's nice.
Of the scoopers.
Yeah.
And some of them I kind of had in mind, like, we can do a game about this. Others is just like, okay, I'm going to give this guy a personality, and this is his backstory. But then if you look at it, like, that can be an offshoot. We can use that somewhere down the line.
Right.
Some of it is, you wing it.
Sure.
And you figure it out.
You gotta reverse engineer the universe, right?
Is this? Okay. Yeah, so it's, and that's the one thing too, I'm an advocate for creativity, bringing my daughter in to do the artwork, but I also want to bring other designers in. If you got an idea, like let's talk about it. And it could be you just have an idea, and that's fine, right? And it might spark something, and we can do something with it. Like my youngest daughter, we credit her with the concept because she said make a game about ice cream, right? So and that's important, right? So but there's others that do want to get their hand in actual design or
that's
even
one thing my business partner and I talked about a lot. It's like we've done this. We know the pratfalls and stuff that we fell into, and all the weirdness and figuring out this and figuring out that is trying to become like a mentorship for designers that come in and they're like, I got this idea for a game. Okay, let's flesh it out.
Right.
What's working, what's not working, what's the board look like, or what do the cards look like, and just kind of help them and then point them in the right directions. Like, go to this manufacturing company or try these guys. Most of our manufacturing, we do it all in-house, but we bring in like our buddy Travis. He works for a print shop, so he makes all of our cards for us.
Oh.
Which is great. So
nice.
he gets gets the cards printed. We bring them in. I've gone to using a business card with a QR code for the rules that just
Right.
takes you right to the website instead of trying to print a small little thing, because we do cans.
Dude, yeah,
right?
the cans, yeah,
Everything's
I
in
saw that,
cans.
yeah.
So, and then we just put the cans together in my garage, and they're good to go. So I put the
Nice.
labels on. Another company makes our labels for us and that kind of stuff.
So
But
fully independent.
yeah.
Wow.
yeah. Don't even.
Yeah.
Don't even. Yeah. As much. And trying to get that price point down, because that's the thing is I got it
Right.
down to like I don't know, $4.10 a unit or something like that to put together. I'm doing not including my labor.
Yeah.
Right,
You
which
just
is
can't-
hundreds
you
of
just
dollars,
can't.
but-
Yes, it is.
Right.
Thousands even.
Thousands of dollars per can, but yeah, I mean, trying to get that price because you're competing with, my party games. Always, I kind of compare it to like Cards Against Humanity, even though they're just massive, right?
Right.
But they can set their price point at $25 a box, right? $30 a box.
They're getting a print run of 5 to 10,000.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no way, it's hard for me to go on Amazon or something and convince somebody to buy my game for $25 when they've got the market share and they've got the marketing and everybody knows them, right? So it's like,
I mean,
compared to the
they
two party
started up as
games.
a small company.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and yours
mean,
comes in a can.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So here's the thing. It's about finding out, first figuring out what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to fit in this industry, if at all, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then if it's I want to be a publisher, then then you hone in on everything that's needed and required to do
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
But if it's you want to design games for others, then you need to find other publishers that your game fits in, and then also you need to divorce your game.
Yeah.
Right? Because once a publisher takes it, it can be whatever they want it to be.
Yep.
Right? You don't want to be so married to it that like, oh no,
any
That's my
change is a
baby,
that's my
heartbreak.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to kick
That's
it
a
out
very
the nest.
adult thing to be able to do.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
you said, I mean, I know a guy, I've interviewed him a couple of times on a different show I did, but he manufactures a game called The Real Game of Life, right? And he sells them online, but mostly he just goes to like a farmer's market every week during the summer, and he pushes a lot of these because it's a really funny game, kind of like The Game of Life, but, and he does
No,
most
yeah,
of the
we played it
manufacturing.
and I immediately got an STD.
Yes, you did.
You know
The Real
what's
Game of
funny is, so back when I was in Cali, I did a revamp of the Game of Life.
Nice.
Oh, did you really?
But we had the Game of Life, and I just kind of added on to it.
Added little funny
Yeah,
things.
so
to
like
make
when you get married, instead of just get your spouse, put it in the car. It's like I made a bunch of cards with these crazy characters, and then you have to pick out of two.
Which
right?
wife you're gonna get.
Which wife you're gonna get. Are you gonna get Silly Sally or
Nice.
Fertile Myrtle?
Yeah.
If you get Fertile Myrtle,
Yeah.
she comes with kids.
Yeah.
Like you automatically have kids.
You're like Mike Brady.
Yeah, and then every time you land on having another baby, you have two.
Oh, geez.
Like you always.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, this guy, I mean, he makes these himself. I don't know how many units he sells a year, but he's sort of just happy to be doing, his in a small little bubble that he's got down there. But he's got a good online presence and people, word of mouth stuff.
Yeah,
We shipped a
he's
couple up to Canada because the shipping was too high for him to do. So buddies of ours had us buy the copies, and then somehow we shipped them up to Canada. I don't remember the whole deal with it, but smuggled them into Canada.
They can only last twice a year. So.
But yeah, I mean, if that's all you're want to do, then more power to him. He's a one man operation, right? So
So I think for me, it's funny because when I was in the industry, I got out, right, and then I met with my old boss at Gen Con. Right, I used to go there with him. At
Can you say what you used to or where you used to work or what you used to work on?
Project Press.
Okay.
Yeah, so based in Bellevue, they just recently sold all their stuff. So, but
Okay.
anyways, I was with them, and so I sat down with him the year after I was gone. I wasn't with him anymore. But we sat down for a drink, and he recognizes, at the time, this was years ago, right? I started with him in 2008, but I had my hands in many different things, right? When I was there, I was there for their board game stuff, right? They were like tabletop minis and skirmish games and RPGs, right? But they wanted to branch out into the board game stuff, so they brought me in for that. And anyways, I was doing, game design development, playtesting. Then it's like, oh, you do art, so I was messing around a little. I didn't do a ton of stuff. Like, he was a great artist, right? Still is. But I would do some graphic stuff. I would do all these little different things. And one of the pieces of advice that he gave me, and I think it holds true, is find one thing and do that, right? Obviously, I didn't listen because I'm publishing, right? But it still holds true for many, right? And I understand how it can still apply to me in that, I have my hands in all these different things, and that's what made this such a smooth production, is because I can do the graphics, I can write, I can, do the layouts and all those different
Create
things,
the
right?
scenarios and all that.
Yeah.
stuff.
So but ultimately, as a publisher, I want other people in there doing those things. You know what I mean? Like, so that I can focus on, because it's not only just a. So to me, this game is an avenue it's a vehicle for community, right? My heart is for community, right? And when I say that, it's not like, oh, I want to build a community so I can do my Kickstarter, like an audience, customers, right? Like, it's not so much that, right? It's the community. Like, I want to build Funtown based on the community that's coming in and jiving with the games that they make, right? But it's also a product, I have to understand that too, right? And getting other people in to do the things and to fill in the gaps, so that I can focus on the big picture, because I see what I see. I can't even tell everybody what I see, right? Like the vision, right? Like where I want to go, where I want to take this, seeing this big thing, and I think I've jumped the gun a number of times in telling just even the idea about Funtown, right? Which has been a few years in the making, right? Just the inception of it, and not everybody is gonna jive with it, and they're like, like, don't let them tell you what to put in your game, or stuff like that. But it's on the verge right now, so I'm a little bit more free with talking about it, and it's at the point where I'm gonna have to start talking about it, or how am I going to get people involved?
Yeah, I mean, that's the trick, right? I know it's your baby and you want to, but it has to sell, right? Because you got to be able to, earn a living and produce more and get it out there and just keep that ball rolling. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, the whole idea is that it's going to feed itself, right? Like, whatever this does is going to feed into the next thing, and then it feeds into the next thing, and to the point where, maybe I do get a salary. I don't know. That's not, you don't come into this, where they say, I don't know, I forget exactly what it is, but, if you want to design games and make money, you got to have money first. Yeah. And then assume that you're going to be making less money.
Yeah.
It is one of those things that it takes money to make money.
Yeah.
You gotta, if you want to go big time, you got, like you were talking about earlier, the marketing piece, right?
Yeah. So.
And at what point does it pay for itself to hire an expert at that?
Yeah. So there's a lot of just different moving parts, right? But I really believe getting the right people in the right place and opportunities begin to open as you put yourself out there, right? If I was to just make this game just for us, and it was like that for a while, right? And then never step out, never talk to the people I know in the industry and say, hey, check this out, what do you think? You know, and never put it in front of people, and never say, you know what, I can shop this, and then start going through the motions and listen to people say, yeah, you know, maybe we'll change the theme. And this is before my daughter, you know, did the art, so I was open to it. So then I went and started messing with different themes, and then once I got her in on the art, it was off the table, right? Like, no, this is, you know, this is gonna be it, right? But I was still talking to other publishers, right? So as a designer, if you're gonna, you know, trying to get other publishers, you gotta understand, you can get people like jiving, like, yeah, I want to do it, and like, okay, cool, yeah. What does it look like? Like, when can we see? Oh yeah, we'll put it on the list. 3 years down the line. Yeah, I mean, and I get that, because as a publisher, these things take time. This is our first game, and you know, as I said before, it's 5 years in the making. Right. It wasn't a 5 year straight. It wasn't like I was doing nothing but that for 5. You know, but these things take time, right? And the ideas that's going to come from this, there's some mini expansion stuff that I want to do in between this big set and the next big set. But those things are going to come a little bit faster than this, right? Like, it's not going to be another 5 years before we get another. Because I have all the art, all the assets is done and ready to go. It's just a matter of getting this out there and hitting a certain threshold. Then we're like, okay, we'll push the button, and now we have this new one coming out. So, and then at that time, we'll have the community, we'll have the people that's already playing the game and looking forward to something new. So,
No, I'm totally with you on the, you know, just being a designer and pushing it out there, because I got such separation anxiety. It's like, no, this is my baby, and I want control. You know, I don't want to just, you know, here's my idea, you guys run with it, and then see it come back as something else, right? Mutated and ugly, and what did you do?
So, I mean, you have to make that decision, though, like, where, you know, what do you want to do, right? And I'll never tell someone like, oh no, it doesn't matter, give it to the publisher. So there'll be designers who would do that and not care. And they'll step back, and then the publisher trying to reach out, and they don't care because they got their check. You know? So that's the other side of it, right? But then there's also the designers who like, no, don't change anything. Like, they're not open to the changes that it might need. Like, if we're gonna sell this, we need to fix this, and this. And what you have right now is a 5-hour game. You know what I mean? Like, we need to. But you know, and it is different for everyone, for sure. But I would say get some people that's doing it, and you know, become a part of their group, you know, whether it be online or in person. You know, there's a lot of playtest groups. There's a lot of like right here, I put their logo on the back of the box. I did some online playtesting. With the Board Game Designers Online. So they're awesome bunch, right? So.
Yeah, because that's the cheapest way to get marketing, right? Is to get it out in the hands of people that do online reviews and YouTube shows and all kinds of stuff. They're not always as kind, but you know, they do help. You know, because it gets the name out.
Yeah. So there's different avenues you can take, and there's definitely. This is our first game, right? So I'm not the guru. I don't have all the answers. And what we're doing might not be typical, right? So I definitely hear like, okay, this needs to happen. You need to put it in front of these people and those people, and those things are cool, right? Like, I can, or I can laser focus on the thing I know I do best, and that is events, right? So. And that's not to take away from like all the online presence that's needed. All that stuff is needed. But I know that if I go in front of people, it's happening, right? So that's, and if I try to spread myself thin and like, oh, I gotta have all these little buckets, it's not gonna be as effective. And I'm not at that place where I'm like, oh, I need this reach. I need 10,000 people to see it so that, I get this many people, this many hits and all that kind of stuff. I want to build a community, this is a small town that we're building, slow growth, right? But slow growth is for better strength, right? You can get that fast growth and you look big and strong, but there'd be a little guy that's stronger than you because he's focused in on strengthening instead of, the stats.
Yeah, it's just building the fundamentals.
Yeah, and so that's the focus that we have is, and I'm not in a place to say like this is it and everybody listen to what I'm saying. It's just that's the route we're taking, and I mean next time we talk, it might be something different, right? Like I might be like, you know what, I was kind of wrong about that.
Yeah.
But
that's the experience.
But yeah, right now I feel like this is the path that we need to take. And what's cool is like just even talking to the manufacturers. We had a meeting when I went to Gen Con this year, and they really liked the art. And like this would sell in China.
I bet it would. Yeah.
So they gave me contact for specific publishers to do localization. So we'll be in talks about those things too. So, and what's cool about that is you don't have to pay for shipping. Right? And
no container ship coming over.
No containers, like it's there. So there's other avenues.
Well, and there's 1.2 billion human beings over there.
Right.
So there's a lot of potential customers.
And it's so there's other avenues than the typical traditional game. What is it? GameFound and Kickstarter and all those different things. There's nothing against those things.
No,
it's
they
just,
work for some people.
Yeah, and it's a full-time job.
I mean, like Zombicide, right? Simon Games. I mean, they just do Kickstarters every time they want to put out a new version, and I get suckered into to buy the next version.
Or Marvel United.
Yes,
They have DC United now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But no, Simon was one of the ones they talked to me about for localization.
Yeah.
I haven't reached out to them yet, but we'll see what happens. My whole thing is just getting it in front of people, and actually, inviting people in, right? Like, and here's the thing. I understand that you don't have to know everyone who's playing the game. Like, like I want it to be in the hands of strangers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I also want to have this sense of community that comes from enjoying having a shared thing that you enjoy. I mean, I kind of came into this world that way. You know?
There's nothing better than when I've got selling games at some little convention or some kind of farmers market or something, and have people come over and they're looking at it and you engage a little bit, but you give them a second to kind of grasp it, and they pull out a card and you just see them giggling, and then they touch their spouse.
Right.
You got to read and it's just there's nothing better than that feeling, right?
Yeah. They think you're funny. It's the best been keeping me going since first grade.
Right. So you're the comedian, right?
Well, evidently not.
Well, for Gong Show, but we won't talk about that too much because.
But we do, Speaking of pre-orders, though, people can pre-order Gong Show tickets.
Yes, on the
Don't need to
website.
segue off of your
Go do it
future
right now.
success.
Podcast.com.
Yeah. And the more tickets they buy, the better snacks they'll have.
That's
The
true.
more
so we're holding your snacks hostage.
Yeah.
Send us
Yeah.
money.
It's either going to be that cheap pub mix in a bowl
Yeah.
or roast
yeah,
beef
yeah.
sandwiches. I mean, come on.
Yeah. The choice is yours, people.
I might have to get out for that.
It's either
Yes,
going to
you
be
gotta come down, man.
it's either going to be a deli platter or it could be Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Hey,
see.
one 6-foot Subway sandwich.
Chopped into very small.
You guys talk to vendors?
Just the ones that are sponsoring the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got D-Pad, we've got the Melrose, kind of premier meat pies across the street. We've got.
Well, I mean for the food.
No, we really kind of just assumed that the bar was going to be available and open, that people could purchase drinks, and then we were
then you
informed
found
it's like,
out,
oh, by the way,
we need to
if
have
you want, then we need to have something. So we're not even taking any payment off the bar. They get to keep all that as far as I know. So.
And just, I mean, this is a labor of love.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah. We're not in it for the money yet.
Although,
Yes.
I mean, $5,000 tickets. That's the key.
VIP ticket.
VIPs.
I mean, if Trump can get a VIP ticket and have somebody pay $50,000 to sit at his table.
We can get some middle school kids to design some art and then we'll turn them into NFTs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are.
And I'm pro child labor.
That's the age of the future.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man. Well, Greater Mike, we appreciate you coming down and talking about the game. Remind us again, it's Fun First Productions.
Yes, funfirstproductions.com.
And you can get it pre-ordered right now, and probably shipping. We said maybe end of the month.
Yeah, a couple, 3 weeks of the month.
3 weeks.
Yeah, that's when I will have it in hand, and then from
Get it
there
prepped to get shipped out.
Yes.
Yeah. But by Christmas,
Oh yeah,
By
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
for all
Definitely
you
by
folks.
Christmas.
And you can do I mean, I think it's a great idea.
It'd be a perfect Christmas gift for your kids.
Yes.
absolutely, it's friggin' fabulous art. I'm just enamored with it. So
Can I shout out one more
Yes.
thing?
Yeah, please.
So, not far from here is a place called Luther's Table.
yes,
And that's where we do our all-day gaming once a month. And this Saturday. Well, never mind.
yeah, it'll be the
Next
following Saturday. So yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So the next one will be October 5th.
There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
October 5th.
And that's an all-day gaming down there.
All-day gaming is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Jeez. There you go.
And you'll have triple scoops.
I should have it then.
Nice.
To play,
For
you'll
the
have a
October
version to
5th.
play for
Yes.
folks, right?
I would have the version to play, but I should actually have the copy. in
Okay,
here.
so if you want to pick one up
Yeah,
while you're
if you
there.
if you want to pick one up while you're there, and then also have some ice cream because it'll be our ice cream party.
Oh, damn, I might have to come
That's
down
on
for
October
sure.
5th?
October 5th,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is perfect. So they can play the game, try it out. Once they figure out that they love it to death, they can buy it from you, most likely right there.
Most likely. So, like I said,
take it.
it's slated to be there at
Yeah.
that time, but you never know what happens over the seas.
Man, I know.
You know,
I
those
got
boats.
it. I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So everybody go to funfirstproductions.com.
Yep.
Get Greater Mike's new game. And I saw another name on there. It's Mike and...
Oh yeah, so Mike and Shine Games.
Okay.
So initially, we were gonna name it Mike and Shine. My daughter's name is Shine.
Nice.
So we were gonna be Mike and Shine Games, right? But the plan to do more games and bring other designers and artists in. So ultimately, we came up with Fun First Productions. But this particular game is a Mike and Shine game.
Nice.
So that's why we put that on there. That's our logo.
Yeah, and I love it because it's a family-owned business,
Yes.
supporting a local family
Yes.
right here in Washington State, and they do stuff up here in Renton. So if you're in Renton, man, they're part of the community. They're part of Renton. So.
Yeah, and Luther's Table is as well. They-
Yes, big time.
Yeah, doing great support stuff.
Yeah.
Lucas Table is awesome.
After I actually gone, I know that they have the game night and stuff. I thought about actually taking my Cards Against Humanity with me down there, but I keep forgetting it even happened. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do it once a month. So
Nice.
so for us it's Thursday. So this Saturday.
This Saturday.
For
Yes.
you this
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yes.
If you're a time traveler, then you head
Yeah,
back in
which, I
time.
mean,
But
you never
October
know.
5th is the next
October
one,
5th,
right?
yeah.
So, yeah.
And we'll have everyone's favorite ice cream.
That is
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
Lactose
Even the blue
free.
raspberry.
What's your favorite?
I'm a chocolate guy for the most part, but yeah. But I do like an orange sherbet. It's pretty good. Todd is lactose free, whatever you got. And he's all over it.
I mean, honestly, if it's I don't know, mint chocolate chip is kind of my favorite.
Yeah, well,
But it depends on the brand. Some brands are like a Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Either it does nothing to me, or it does everything to me.
No, man.
Because I'm lactose intolerant.
And our friend Lesser Mike here is just ice cream? Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. My favorite is the bowl of ice cream
Of the
in
ice
front
cream
of
in
me.
front of
Yeah, just put it all together.
The one that he's got spoon in hand ready
Yes.
to go.
I actually remember when I discovered I was lactose intolerant. I was at
Here's the
a,
story.
I was at a friend's house and he got one of those big tubs of ice cream, and we sat there and ate a bunch of it, and then we all passed out because I think it was Thanksgiving or something, and I was sleeping on the couch, and I woke up the next morning hearing the dog scratching at the door. Because apparently I've been like busting ass all night. And
He's trying to get out.
The poor dog was trying to get out of the living room.
Animal cruelty.
Yeah,
when the dog's like, I'm out.
Well, it's funny because I hear the dog scratching and kind of whimpering, and I hear the door open and go, oh my God.
Wait, the dog said, "Oh my God."
No, the person who opened the door said, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah.
Toes out.
God.
It's like, and they're like, dude, I think you might be lactose intolerant. It's like, why? Because, man, it smells like your ass in here. What the fuck?
Oh, man. Again, Mike, thank you for being here, dude. It's funfirstproductions.com. And go right now. Triple scoops with a cherry on top. Order it today.
Today?
Do it today.
Today.
Get it going.
Not tomorrow, today.
Yeah. And we'll say goodbye to Mike, and then but we're going to come back and do our August movies. So give us a minute, and we'll come back. Thanks, bro.
All right.
But yeah, he was a good guest. What a nice fella.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
All right. Good dude. Good dude. Yeah, go to Fun First Productions.
Find
check out
First
Mike's
Productions. Yeah.
Yeah, him and his daughter Sean.
Yeah, that's
they
great.
Did a great job.
That's great.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, boys,
Hey.
to the regular show.
Regular show.
Do you guys want to talk some
Yeah.
headlines? I didn't do a lot because I knew Mike was coming in, and then we've got September movies to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I actually saw Beetlejuice
Did you really?
last night.
Oh, geez, I didn't know it was out yet.
It's out today.
What is it? September.
So if they have a third one, does that mean he'll be popping up everywhere?
I mean, they did. I don't know. I guess you could say it was left open that if they chose to, they could come back.
Yeah. Who did it first, Candyman or Beetlejuice?
I have no
Or
idea.
what's that? Bloody Mary.
Bloody
the
Mary was
yeah.
Bloody Mary was a thing. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. That was a thing I think in the early '80s. The
Yeah, I
whole Bloody
remember
Mary
from
thing.
the 80s. But
People saying it on the playground and whatnot, and then
say
Candyman came out, and you have to say his name 7 times, right?
Oh,
7
man.
times? Gee, I don't have that patience.
No, unless he's actually bringing me candy.
Bring me some taffy.
Fuck off. I don't need another mouth to feed, bro.
Is that Tony Todd?
Tony Todd. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be at the horror
I
con.
believe
Oh,
so.
nice.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Him and Elvira.
yeah.
She's going to be up.
And the kids from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about this, Mike. Sorry to leave you out of it, but it happened like split second. We got to interview the Goonies house guy.
Yeah,
Did you
geez, yeah,
check
how'd that go?
It was great. Watch
Nice.
that. It's
fun,
out
yeah.
on the thing. Super nice guy, super Goonie-tastical dude.
Right.
That's got the heart in the right place on
Yeah.
what he wants to do with the house and how he wants to open it up for the Goonie world worldwide. Right?
And he talked
Right?
about them doing a restoration show like they did
Yeah.
Discovery did a restoration show with
for
the Brady House.
That's
And they're talking about doing doing the same thing with the Goonies house, but I guess at the beginning of when they were talking about this, that's when strike happened.
The strike happened, yeah. And I think he alluded to the thought was they were going to do the Goonies house before they did the Brady house, and then they settled on doing the Brady house because there was issues with if they could get and the production company was going to buy the Goonies house outright,
Sure.
and then probably like sell it or give it away, contest or some HGTV and stuff like that.
HGTV owns the Brady
That's
house,
Astoria, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But materials and getting stuff to and from Astoria and all the people, et cetera. But because the Brady House is like Burbank or something, right?
I mean,
That's
the
true.
Brady House is legitimately 10 minutes away from Universal
Yeah,
Studios.
so I bet materials, all the logistics of it would be
It's
easier
in an
there, right?
actual neighborhood. You can drive up to the house.
Yeah, and this one is not as easy to get. It's like a dirt gravel driveway to get up to the house, and but they're going forward. He's still working on getting it in production, which would be kind of fun. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
But yeah, super nice guy. Go watch that on the YouTubes. Just a really
special-
decent
did
guy.
you get the-
Little special- I didn't do that. No, Mike, come on. Because we probably would have got censored by.
Well, I'll imagine that happened.
Oh my God, boys! Headlines this week. Really sad. Another school shooting.
man.
First of
Holy
the school
crap,
year.
dude.
14-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah, the school year just started.
Just started.
That's terrible. That's terrible. 14-year-old
killed
kid.
4.
Yeah. Two kids, two
two
adults,
teachers.
yeah.
Where did this happen at?
Georgia.
Some part of
Georgia.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay,
like
wow.
northeast of Atlanta or something like that.
That's awful.
It's just awful, and it just sucks. Kid was described as the quiet type, the loner, don't know much else. I don't want to say he was picked on because I don't know if he was, but kind of feel like
that's kind of like the trope for those kinds.
That kind of feels like it.
I mean,
right?
like the Columbine kid, he was like, I didn't have any friends, you know.
Yeah. So sad
Man,
stuff,
yeah.
And
And I think that same day that happened, there was a big meeting in Georgia about gun storage.
Oh.
Like safe storage.
Yeah.
The rules, the
Well,
expectations.
the shitty part about this kid was that he was investigated for making threats like
a year ago. Yeah. But guess what he got for a gift?
Did he get a gun
He
for
got
a gift?
an AR platform as a gift.
Oh, I thought, I guess at the time they investigated him, the father said that he has hunting style firearms in the house, but the kid had
Does not
no
have access.
to,
Yeah, yeah.
unsupervised access
Yeah.
to him. But the kid was making threats and stuff. So, I mean, there's got to be those red flag, common sense laws out there that say, if a judge is able, healthcare professionals, a judge, everybody gets together and says, hey, this person might be a danger. It's not a good idea to have firearms in the same household. Any way that he can get them. I don't know how that works, but I mean,
don't
Jesus,
know.
man, we got to figure out because the kid that killed the kid's Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
I mean, his mom had all these weapons in the house and obviously weren't locked up enough.
Yeah, they weren't locked up.
Where he was able to kill her and then go murder a bunch of little
And
kids.
I've talked about this a lot of times. It is our responsible as firearms possessors to keep that shit out of the hands of anybody besides us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Unless you and your old lady or you and your partner train for intense situations or whatever, then that other partner has access, right? But it's like, to me, that is an obvious, at least step, right?
Well, I
It's
totally
like, I
agree
don't
that,
get it.
you should be sued and possibly criminally
if it's not on your person, it should be locked up.
Locked up.
End of story.
If
End
you
of
allow
story.
somebody else to get access to it.
I mean, I know it's a product of science fiction, but why don't we have like thumbprints on weapons now? We have thumbprints for phones and shit.
Gun locks like
yeah,
that.
locking up the trigger.
They do certainly they do on the safe, but not on the weapon.
Not on the weapon.
I'm saying like on the weapon.
Well, price point, my friend, price
Well,
point.
but the people who are into like guns and stuff will be like, oh, that's straight out of like RoboCop. I fucking want that. They'll pay for that.
No, man, the NRA will fight you tooth and nail.
I would think.
Because
I don't
they'll
know.
see it as a restriction, and then everybody with an R behind their name is that's elected will toe the line and say we can't have that.
I mean,
bonkers. But I mean, the access to weapons in America is easy, right? And that is a problem. But that's not. I mean, besides that, is like, why are our kids turning to murder?
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
Yes.
That's a question that we really need to ask. Murder's a big step.
Yes.
Even for a not completely developed human brain, it's still a big step, man. Although, I mean, Shakespeare wrote about that shit, right? And so it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean-
More money for counselors, more money for healthcare people in schools.
I would say, right?
this is one of the reasons why
But not all schools can afford that.
That's what I'm saying. More money for them to get those.
Yeah, but
This is one of the reasons why I've never owned a firearm, because if I'm having a bad day, the last thing I need is access
Something
to
in front of you.
fair enough.
access to a
That's
weapon.
very wise
'Cause
of you. right?
I remember a time where I was having problems with my dad. He was unrelenting with his commentary on my life
It's
and
nonsense.
and I just like, man, if I could. It was just one of those fleeting moments where you're like, I could just strangle him.
Yeah, what do they call those thoughts?
Intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts. Don't
Yeah.
let the intrusive thoughts.
Yeah,
win.
that was like the one time I contemplated killing somebody was when he was just would not leave me the fuck alone. And that was the time where I decided, you know what, I'm cutting every communication line to him. He will not be able to contact me after this, because I was at a point where I was just like, if I was in the same city, I would have gone over there and just beat him to death. Yeah. But
All right, obviously we're not going to
It's
solve
awful.
it, but the
No, but it's
conversation
awful.
needs to
It's awful.
continue for sure. So,
And I mean, because we owe it to our future, which is our youth, to try to figure out.
and I really,
why the murder thing.
you know
what
and I
I mean?
really
It's
hope
like,
our youth
just drop out of school,
who's
go
been
join
affected
the
by
Navy.
this are really gonna as the boomers die off, as the Gen Xers die, this younger generation's going to come in and make sensible decisions. We just have to keep the world going long enough
before
to
that.
get them there.
And we'll see. It's not like they're on young assholes too.
No. I totally agree.
But and the side effect, which is awful, just like in the atomic age, is the shooter drills.
Yeah.
Right. All the tension and stress that brings about, the feeling of instability that no matter where you are, our institutions aren't here for any kind of like safety. Right.
I feel like we need to have a name for the Gen Xers that identify more as boomers than they do Gen X. Because
Zoomers?
there's a number of them that have the same mentality as a boomer, but they're like our age.
Goomers?
Gooners.
No, that's too nice. Goom.
I don't know, but it's bummer, and I'm sorry to hear it. I hope everybody's people, that are involved in this can find some light in it, right? Because it's awful, and I'd carry that shit around forever. I'd hunt that guy's people down. Right? It's like, because that didn't come out of nowhere.
No.
Right? Nobody's born a psycho, right?
No.
I don't know. Or fuck are they? I don't know. Humans are nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. Boys, in happier news, Trump Media, the stock that he's getting ready to sell off, has jumped to below pre-public offering levels. So it's dropped below $17 a share, which one time it was over like $40 a share, or $48 a share, wasn't it, when it first popped out?
So it's about a third what it was.
So it's dropping fast. So at one point, Trump, value-wise, was like $6 billion because he owns so
but
many
he gets
shares.
to borrow on that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm
It's
with
like
ya.
we need to change out that part of the fucking system where Bezos et al. Make a tiny salary.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They just take these zero interest loans out.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? It's like,
Yeah.
we need to tax these
Absolutely
people, man.
ridiculous.
Tax them.
So if you wanted to buy some Trump media, just wait a couple more days and it'll probably be like $10 a share.
Why would you buy that? You wouldn't.
I
It's
don't
not gonna
know.
go back up.
Same makes you buy golden tennis shoes, man. It's just kind of, and I mean, initially it's a pump and dump, right? So
Yep.
it's like, I get that, because if you bought it at 17 or did 20 or whatever initially, and then sold it at 100, you're stoked,
Right.
Right? That's a 500% boost.
I mean, if you know some Trumpers or some maggots, you could sell it to them, and they'll probably buy it.
Well, you just sell it on.
I'm just saying, if you know someone who's a supporter of him, you go, hey, I got these stocks. Do you want them?
Yeah, but even when your CEO Devin Nunes is selling off his shares,
And he's just an awful person.
CFO is selling off their shares and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's September 20th. I want to say
Is
when
the
Trump's
6-month window or whatever that is,
allowed to
yeah.
start selling his. So we'll see. It'll be
It's
an
a trip.
interesting thing.
Yeah, we need to revamp Wall Street and we need to regulate the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's one of the weirdest gamble Ponzi scheme.
It really is.
And we put way too much importance into it at our peril as a planet.
Yeah. Boys, we all know that Russia and China and maybe some other countries are all trying to influence United States policy and politics and all that stuff. Well, an indictment was filed yesterday, last Wednesday, if you guys are watching this, which alleges a media company linked to 6 conservative influencers was on the payroll of Russia. So basically, Russia was paying this media company that had these right-wing influencers out there pushing the stories that Russia wants to push. They don't blame, the indictment doesn't blame the 6 influencers, but they are saying that the owners
Are
of
these
it.
the influencers that turned out to be models from like Europe?
I don't know. Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson are 3 of
Okay, I
them.
don't know.
I don't know them because I don't really run in those
Well,
circles.
last week I saw. I think
But
we even talked about it.
Our Congress people have Russian talking points spilling out of their fucking mouths.
yeah.
Right? It's like,
Yeah.
because all these right-wing psychos love to stick together.
Yeah. No, I saw this story last week about this woman on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, and it turns out that the account was actually the woman in the photo was not who's running the
Oh,
account.
you were talking about this last week.
Yeah.
and she was like
A European.
She's like a Swedish model.
She's like, I don't, what?
She's like, no, I don't even live in the U.S., and if I did, I wouldn't be voting for that asshole.
But said in a polite Swedish
In a
way,
very
yeah.
Swedish.
I mean,
polite
she
way.
didn't say it in those words exactly, but that was the sentiment that she had.
Yeah. So the Justice Department is accusing 2 employees of the Russian state media RT of funneling nearly $10 million to a Tennessee-based content creation company. But that's the ones that are trying to push all that Russia-friendly stuff like, there should be a peace treaty in Ukraine if Ukraine would just give up some of its territory. Kind of stuff.
Or that they're Nazis.
Yes. Oh, my God. Ukraine.
Russia's liberating Ukraine from the Nazis. To which, because I've had, friends of mine hit me with that. I'm like, name one Nazi politician who's made policy there. One.
Yeah. Right? No.
Name one policy.
I used to work Dmitry, man. His grandparents still live in there, right? And I remember when the war started, and him just like, man, I got to get back there. Got to go protect grandma and grandpa and stuff. But they managed to get him out. I think they're in Poland or Romania or somewhere like that. So, geez, man, just crazy shit. Boys, the fast casual chain. You guys go to Chipotle at all?
Nope.
No
My
Chipotle
lady
away?
does. We talked about the giant bowl of carbs. It's just a warm bowl of carbohydrates. That's what
But
that
it's
is.
comfort, right?
Yeah,
It's a comforting warm bowl.
Yeah, so it's
They're getting in
mac
on
and
the
cheese.
Halloween boom. Got some police action. Hope everybody's all right. Don't mess with it must be an accident right there. You guys are witnessing an accident in the background. At least it's not my car. Apparently, they are coming out with costumes for Halloween.
They're trying to get wooed
They're trying
back
to jump
CEO.
into their thing. So you can get a bodysuit that's meant to resemble a napkin, all Chipotle brand, a fork, a water cup, a burrito, and a to-go bag. They cost $39.99, but I just can't imagine spending $40
Never.
to look like a
Ever.
Chipotle
Never.
napkin.
Ever. No one
If I was
is doing that.
Oh my god! If I was gonna do a dumb costume like a napkin, it wouldn't be fucking Chipotle.
I'd be Hamburger when I'd rob motherfuckers.
Oh man, yeah, because the wanted posters would be awesome. On the news.
Just dress up as Hamburger. Just walk into any McDonald's, go robble robble, and grab the food right off the table.
And run it.
Yeah, rubble, motherfucker.
Did he only steal hamburgers?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, and I think fries. But
Yeah, I would take one fry from each person. Just the one.
robble robble.
Would you dip it in their ketchup?
Oh yeah,
Double dip.
grab a single, like one of the long fries. It's like 6 inches long. Grab it and go dip,
Yeah,
dip,
nice.
and then take a bite.
The only thing I can think of though is if you buy one of these costumes, you should be able to go down there and get a free burrito bowl
If you're
once a
throwing
day.
Right, you
40
better
bucks,
get something.
Yes, you should.
Jeez.
Yes, you should.
I mean, there's just some things that
Nobody's
we
doing
don't
that.
do.
Because
We don't
nobody
need.
gives a fuck about the Chipotle brand.
Really,
right? Come
really,
on,
the
it's
thing
not
about
Coach.
this is
Don't as a Coach bag.
they're getting me because I wrote down the story, but it's really to drive
Sure.
interest and
But they had to hire somebody for the design,
Yeah,
the packaging, the manufacturer, all that nonsense.
I-
remember the old, Monster from the Black Lagoon plastic masks and
Yeah.
shit that block your vision so you get
You
hit
talking
by
about
lightning?
the plastic masks that
Plastic
suffocated
mask.
you?
Casper the Ghost and
Yes.
stuff
And
like
they
that.
had like
Tiny little-
the vinyl vest that came with it.
So good.
Yeah, I remember those.
Oh man, I gotta go through my old photo album and see which ones I had because I remember having those, but I don't remember what characters. Might
I
have been
wish I
Casper.
had a
I
Monster from the Black
think I
Lagoon.
had
That'd be cool.
Yoda
Yeah.
Yoda's cool.
or Superman, both
I
probably.
noticed none of us mentioned Chipotle. Chipotle doesn't even have a fucking mascot. Who the hell, who pitched this?
Somebody who was really high eating Chipotle.
Yeah.
Go, you know,
Yeah, and
I want to be
there
the
is
napkin. I
pictures of
am the
these.
napkin, man.
There are pictures of these that look ridiculous, but I was going to say, Creature from the Black Lagoon, you can get a giant size one of those, and I think it's at retrogogo.com.
All right.
So it's a very large version
One of the coolest
of that.
movie monsters possible.
Yeah,
Just
of
so
that
good.
mask
they're
to put on your wall.
I heard that Universal is actually making a brand new Creature from the Black
Yeah,
Lagoon
because that
movie.
is part of the Universal movie monsters.
Yeah, which failed to launch because fucking Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Was holding up the mummy or something?
Well, no, he
Just a really bad.
He wanted to do the mummy with a hot chick.
The
half
thing
his
is,
age.
he was in that movie and he wanted them to make a bunch of changes to the story and all the changes, all his notes really kind of ruined that movie.
Jeez. Well, speaking of burritos, boys, Bruce Campbell, our favorite, is talking about returning as Ash for The Evil Dead. He's already come out and said he can't do any more physically just because he's getting older, but he's going to lend his voice apparently to an animated version.
Jeez, I think that's
of this,
fantastic.
which I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, before we had Deadpool, people, we had Ash.
We had Ash.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be really cool if they end up doing an Evil Dead animated show. I think they should get John St. John to do a voice because both of those two, Ash and Duke Nukem, had a lot of the same lines.
Sure,
yeah.
Groovy, you know.
Yeah, that's
Come
so
get some,
good.
you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, so he was quoted as saying, I'll do that. I'll do Ash's voice all day long because my voice hasn't aged as much as I have.
I think
So,
that's
yeah.
That's a win-win for all of humanity.
Yeah.
And Bruce Campbell's a treasure.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, just a kick in the
He's a
pants.
snarky guy too.
Oh, yeah.
He's
He wrote a
super
book called
snarky.
Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way.
Yeah. I remember hearing.
I mean, that's chutzpah.
I remember hearing him on BJJ in the morning back in like early 2000s, and Rev Fuego was like, yeah, and you're in the Pacific Northwest, and he goes, yeah, Rev, thanks for letting people know I live in the area.
Yes, hunt me down, guys.
Yeah.
When did that TV series come out?
Because there was Ash versus Evil Dead, right?
That was, I think, 2017.
Yeah,
And The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
yeah,
That
they got
too, yeah. I mean, and all of that stuff had the guy who created the whole Evil Dead thing. He also did.
Raimi, yeah.
Yeah, Raimi. Yeah, Sam Raimi. Bruce is in every Sam Raimi film ever made. So all the Spider-Man movies that he
And so was
did.
the car.
In the car.
That Oldsmobile.
Yeah, the car that he had in Evil Dead was Uncle Ben's car.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's right.
I recognize that car. And
Yeah.
like, that's the car from Evil Dead. It's like, oh my god, it is.
Yeah, I think Raimi's great. I've always
Yeah.
thought that guy's
Yeah.
very kinetic. He did Darkman also.
You did,
I
did
love
you do
those
Darkman?
movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he
The
did.
first one with Liam Neeson was the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
How many were there?
There's like,
That's the only one I'm
there's like
aware of.
3.
Oh, I
I
saw
did-
that on
the
the
other
The one I remember is
The other 2 went straight to DVD or straight to video, and they were not Liam Neeson. They were somebody else.
That explains it. Edward Furlong or somebody.
Yeah.
Geez, and a celebrity death this past week, boys. Rest in peace, James Darren, 88 years old. Mike would recognize this. He was Moondoggy in the Gidget movies.
Oh.
He was also on T.J. Hooker. He was
All
one
right,
of the
yeah.
officers. He wasn't Adrian Zemeck or Adrian.
Zamuda or whatever.
Yeah, Zamuda. But he was definitely on there for like 4 years.
I had to Google his name because I don't recognize the name, but it's like, oh, I recognize.
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
He
it's the face you recognize.
He was in everything in the 70s and 80s.
Yes, tons of shows.
Yeah.
And then he was the Vic Fontaine, the holographic and the holodeck lounge singer in Deep Space Nine. If you want to go back to Deep Space Nine.
Which
so,
is a decent program.
yeah.
Vic Fontaine, isn't that the name of the DJ from Greece?
I don't know, but it's kind of because he based it on like Dean Martin and
Frankie.
Yeah. But he was also did the Time Tunnel. Do you remember the series The Time Tunnel?
I
Where
vaguely
those guys they stand in front of the spiral and they're spinning around. I never watched the show, but I know the opening.
I remember
of
it being on TV, but I never actually watched it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, just been around a long time. Kinda
Time Tunnel. That was they. That's where they got the idea for the time machine in Austin Powers because they had
yes,
that.
kind of like that. Yeah, and I think it was John Saxon that was the other guy in that.
Oh, man.
Was the other guy in
That
Time?
sounds great,
Time
yeah.
Tunnel? Yeah.
Actually, I just remembered the other person that's going to be at that horror convention is Ironside.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, the voice that belongs to 1,000 ships. I think it's been around forever.
Yeah.
Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, John Saxon, I found out, is buried up next to Brandon and Bruce.
And
Lee.
Bruce, maybe
In
I knew
Seattle?
that. Yeah.
In Seattle, not very far
I
from
think
their
they were
graves.
friends. Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
This is the guy who was the dad in
John Saxon was.
Oh, no, he's been in action movies for. He was on the $6 Million Man.
He was
the dad
in
from
Clint Eastwood movie.
The dad from Freddy Krueger movies. Isn't that John Saxon?
Jeez, you got me.
God, I have to look it up now.
He did a lot.
Yeah, that's the guy. He played
Was
the
he
dad.
a dad on that?
He was Nancy's dad.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know he was dead, but
I didn't know he passed away either, and I didn't know he was buried in Seattle.
Yeah, I didn't know he was up there, but somebody posted on Facebook that they were
Yeah, I
in
think
Seattle.
he was a
so
Jeet
they,
Kune Do student of Bruce.
so that's James Darren.
Yeah, no, that guy's a stud.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Oh, yeah.
T.J. Hooker and all that stuff. Had a couple albums in
Yes,
the
he
60s. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And Gidget's boyfriend, Moondoggy. He did 3 Gidget movies, I think.
Nice.
Gidget Goes to Italy or Rome or
cute.
something.
That means he worked with
Gidget,
Sally
isn't
Field,
that-
right? Which
Was it Sally Field, the
or was she
original
only on
Gidget?
TV?
Yeah, I think that was Sally Field. Yeah.
Was she in the movie?
I don't know.
Gidget?
I know she was in the TV show.
Yeah.
Gidget.
She was on the TV show.
Yeah.
Gosh, she is just.
And she's one of the best actors to ever
She's
walk
still-
the planet.
she's still super
astounding.
attractive,
Seen
too.
Sybil?
I
No, not
remember
Sybil,
it, but I don't think I
Go to
ever
Bed. No,
watched
it's
it.
her with like 17 personalities. It's startling.
No, it was Sandra Dee.
Oh, well, that's not terrible.
No, that's great too. But Yeah.
I thought she was. Oh, I guess
She was in the
He did
TV
on
show.
television, yeah.
Okay.
But
Him
not
Flying
the
Nun.
3 or 4 movies, or whatever.
Ah,
Okay.
Gidget.
Boys,
Gidget
you want to
kills
talk
the
about
guy in
September
Singapore.
movies?
Yeah.
Old September rain.
Do you guys want my non-spoiler review of Beetlejuice?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Go see it. That's my review.
Nice.
Came out 9/2. There's a movie called And Mrs. So it's the ampersand and Mrs. It's when a reluctant bride-to-be's fiance drops dead, she insists on going ahead with the wedding anyway, much to the bewilderment of her friends and family. It's got Colin Hanks and Billy Lord, who is
Carrie Fisher's daughter. She was
so-
in the last 3 episodes of Star Wars. The Skywalker saga.
that comes out video on demand, but I mention it just because of the characters.
She body doubled her mom for the young Leia section of the movie too.
9/4. If you are a space fan, there is a documentary coming out called Apollo 13 Survival. It uses original footage and interviews, tells the nail-biting story of Apollo 13 and the struggle to bring its astronauts safely home. Is that the one with they did the movie with Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah, it's really.
You just didn't we have a
Houston.
problem?
Yeah, that's coming to Netflix 9/4,
Sketchy.
so it's out already.
Because I mean, that's a lone. I was thinking about that today because the Starliner capsule is still not functional.
Yes.
So they're going to throw it back, and they had to make extra room on the escape capsule, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, a lot of.
Yeah, and then they started hearing weird noise.
Yeah.
Like they were picking up some kind of noise on it or something. I don't know. I don't know if they figured anything out.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're sending that home, right? I got trapped in
They launched him to blow him up.
We're
Just
on
to get rid
sound stage 15.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Oh man, as Todd said, 9/6 Beetlejuice.
Oh, man.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice Part 2. Beetlejuice Dos Part 2, whatever you want to call it.
What year was the first one?
88, 89?
88.
88. After unexpected family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down. That's Winona Ryder, right? When her rebellious teenage daughter Astrid, and that's played by Jenna Ortega,
Yeah.
discovers the mysterious model of the town in the attic, and the portal to the afterlife is accidentally opened. With trouble brewing in both realms, mayhem ensues. So Jenna Ortega, Catherine O'Hare, always wonderful Catherine O'Hare, Winona Ryder, Alfred
O'Hara, I believe, isn't
Arthur Conti, Michael Keaton, of course, Justin Theroux, and Willem Dafoe. Directed by Tim Burton again, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it was really, really, really good. And there was lots of really cool scenes and lots of little jokes that point at the original movie.
Nice. Yeah. I'd have to watch the original again because it's been.
Yeah, is it available on any streaming?
Oh, theaters right now.
It's in theaters.
The original one.
Oh, yeah, it's on Netflix, I think.
Is it on Netflix? Oh.
Either Netflix or it's on Max.
Nice. Movie called Rebel Ridge, and I did watch the preview for this. Former Marine grapples his way through a web of small-town corruption when an attempt to post bail for his cousin escalates into a violent standoff with the local police chief. He didn't start this fight, but he will finish it.
Nice.
So it kind of felt like an updated version of
Rambo?
First Blood,
Oh, yeah,
Rambo. This stars, though, Don Johnson as the town or county sheriff.
Sure.
And
He's been playing the heel recently. It's
yes, Aaron Pierce is the former Marine.
great. I don't know if I know Aaron Pierce.
You might recognize him if you look because he looked familiar to me, but I couldn't tell you what movies he was in. That's coming to Netflix on 9/6. I'm looking forward to this one because it's a Western, but a movie called The Thicket. Set in East Texas in the early 20th century, a young man goes on a quest to rescue his sister after she has been kidnapped by a violent killer. He enlists the help of a crafty bounty hunter named Shorty, a grave-digging alcoholic son of an ex-slave, and a street-smart prostitute to help him on his mission. So the Shorty, the bounty hunter, is Peter Dinklage, and the bad guy that took the sister is played by Juliette Lewis. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's limited in theaters right now, so I don't know if that means it's going to come to video on demand
What's that called?
fairly quick. It's called The Thicket.
The Thicket.
Yeah, so interesting cast and an interesting storyline. So, and it looked pretty good. I watched.
She's Juliet's.
Yeah, always like her. Got to see her in concert a few years back. It was one of Bailey's first concerts I took him to. Juliet in the Licks.
Nice.
Yeah. And she performs. She's
She's the real deal.
got it going on. Yeah.
Scientologist too.
Coming out 9/12, Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter. It's a documentary. A mother discovers the daughter she gave up for adoption many years ago has disappeared, and she will stop at nothing to find her, which sounded kind of interesting. I think it's voiceover or narrated by Charlize Theron, but that comes out on Netflix on 9/12. One for Todd, 9/13, Transformers 1. The untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, better known as sworn enemies, but once were friends bounded like brothers who changed the fate of Cybertron forever.
Jeez.
But it's got a cool cast. Chris Hemsworth,
great cast,
Scarlett Johansson, Lawrence Fishburne, Keegan-Michael Key.
He plays Bumblebee.
Don Murphy. And did Michael Bay direct this? It says Michael Bay, so I don't know if he's an actor or
Michael Bay is listed.
yeah, it was listed as part of the movie. So
Maybe he's a producer.
Maybe he's a producer.
that could be, yeah.
I don't know if he's directed animated stuff.
I don't know.
I bet there's a different take to it.
Probably.
Although a lot of his films are mostly animated. But it's different.
Yeah, probably a producer. That comes out in theaters 9/13. Todd, what's your take on it? This is a brand new story, or
I mean, I think it's expanded on what's been told already. Because in the original series, they do have an episode where you see the origin of Optimus Prime, and then in later series, there's stories of before he became Prime, he and the bot that became Megatron were like buddies. They were best friends, kind of thing. But I don't know. Beyond a single episode, I don't think it had much detail to that, other than, hey, these guys used to be friends. Now they're mortal enemies because of
something.
Civil War.
You took my last Oreo.
You know, it was kind of a them versus us kind of thing, and Megatron wanted to like rule the planet, and
There's that.
and
Optimus just wanted democracy.
Just wanted democracy. Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
A little bugs in here. Boys, I saw the preview for this next one, also 9/13 at the theaters, and it looked pretty creepy. It's called Speak No Evil. It's a couple on vacation. I think they're in like Europe or something, but I'm not sure.
I saw the trailer for it too. Yeah.
Meet another couple with a mute child. The latter couple begins to insinuate themselves into the lives of the polite first couple, pushing their ability to tolerate abusive behavior until it takes a violent turn. So James McAvoy plays
playing a heel
the heavy,
too.
and he does. I mean,
he does.
like Split in some of those movies.
Yeah, he can
does a
just
really
change
good
his.
job.
Yeah. He's really good.
I didn't really recognize many of the other actors in there.
The other husband guy, I've seen him recently. and stuff.
James Watkins.
That could be.
Yeah, something like that.
I feel like he's around.
Jason Blum, Paul Ritchie, Mackenzie Davis, all tied to the movie somehow. Boys, Ice Cube and Terry Crews and Dave Bautista have a movie coming out into the theaters. It's called The Killer's Game. It's an assassin takes out a contract on himself. When he decides he'd rather live, he must match his skills against the best hitmen in the world. So, kind of a trope we've all heard before, right? But
it's essentially like Running Man kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like Running Man meets John Wick.
There you go. Yeah. But Ice Cube and Terry Crews never disappoint, and Bautista.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista is really good.
Yeah. There is a movie coming to Netflix on 9/13. It's called Uglies. It's a futuristic movie where in the future kids are called Uglies until they reach 16 and get surgically transformed into attractive pretties.
Yeah, I think there
is. It a young adult series?
Yes, okay. I believe it is.
And then they get to move to the glamorous part of town. But there is a precocious teen that's threatened with being denied the procedure unless she spies on a pal who skipped the operation and joined a rebellious group. So Joey King's in that. Laverne Cox from Orange is the New Black is in that. Jordan Davis. I don't know if any of those others ring a bell. Coming to Netflix.
Nice.
One of our favorite, the 4:30 movie coming out. Kevin Smith's latest movie is following a group of teens in the 80s who paid to get into one movie and spend the day theater hopping.
I used to do that.
Yeah, it's got.
I mean, yes.
It's got the full cast, right? It's Jason Mewes, it's Diedrich Bader, Justin Long, Rosario Dawson. I think all these people make
All the people
cameos,
you saw in Jay and
cameos.
Silent Bob's Strike Back.
Yeah. And then a whole new slew of young
people, yeah.
young people paying attention.
Harley and her fiance are both in it.
And his kid.
And he's the one who played in Clerks 3, the silent kid who kept falling around.
Yes.
Elias.
Yeah.
That's Harley's fiance.
Oh, okay. Nice. Also, on video on demand, I only mention this because the cast is kind of interesting, but there's a movie called Dead Money coming to video on demand when a home poker game is robbed by armed men. Pro poker player Andy and his girlfriend Chloe get caught in the middle. Now Andy must play the best poker of his life at the biggest game in town to save his and Chloe's lives. But it's got Emil Hirsch, it's got Jackie Earle Haley,
Nice.
Peter Fasinelli,
David
big
Keith.
fan David Keith,
One of the
and
greatest
Rory
voices
Culkin.
ever.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's
So check
cool.
that out. I mean, it didn't sound like a great movie. Then I looked at the cast and I'm like, oh, might be something to it. So, Boys, The Substance. This is Demi Moore's
Yeah, I
new.
saw an ad for that.
I saw the trailer for that as well.
It'll look pretty creepy.
It looks
Yeah.
really weird and creepy.
Yeah. Do you know who the director is?
I don't. Yeah.
I was wondering if it's out. Is it kind of Cronenbergish or is it
Maybe. I don't know if there's any like biomechanic
stuff?
Yeah,
Because he's good
yeah.
at that. But the Substance. Have you ever dreamt of a better version of yourself? You only better in every way. You should try this new product. It's called The Substance. It changed my life. With The Substance, you can generate another you, younger, more beautiful, more perfect. You just have to share time. 1 week for one, 1 week for the other. Perfect balance of 7 days each. Easy, right? You respect the balance. What could possibly go wrong? So Dennis Quaid, Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, some other people I'm not real familiar with, but coming to limited into theaters. So I assume, Todd, that when they say limited theaters, it probably means it's going to be for a couple of weeks, and then they'll shoot it over to video on demand, depending on how well.
I mean, the last few times I've heard that phrase, it goes limited first, and then goes wide, and then goes to video.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But that also depends on who's doing the production. It's like the last 2 or 3 Kevin Smith movies, he did a limited thing where he would do like a tour with the movie where he'd do a Q&A before the movie.
That's a great idea.
And then after he did that, then it went released on all the normal routes.
Coming to Apple, first in limited in theaters, then Apple TV on 9/27. And this one's getting a little bit of press because there was a rumor going around that Brad Pitt and George Clooney paid themselves $35 million each to star in this, and they both come out and said, no, that's not the case. But there's a movie called Wolves. It's 2 lone wolf fixers wind up getting assigned to the same job.
What's a wolf fixer?
Do you remember Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction?
Yeah,
He's the fixer.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But there's
Mr.
also
Wolf.
Ray Donovan.
That was
TV
a great
show
series,
with Lee Schreiber. He would run around and, like, if you had a pro athlete that woke up with a dead hooker or something or whatever, he would come in and figure out how to clean it up.
How to clean it up and make it so it never happened.
Or at least minimize it as much as possible, so you get the blowback. So that's coming out what did I say, 9/13 limited in theaters, and then it's dropping to Apple on 9/27. I do like those two guys. I think they do a good job when they're together. All the Ocean's 11 stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Boys, coming to theaters, a movie called Never Let Go. It's a family has been haunted by evil spirit for years. Their safety and surroundings come into question when one of the children questions if the evil is actually real. I mention this because it's got Halle Berry. Enough said.
Friend of the show.
Totally wish that was true.
Yes.
Coming to theaters. And then this one, another animated movie, Wild Robot. Have you seen the
I've seen the trailer for that, and basically it's an AI robot that is lost in the woods, and it
Doesn't know why it's
when
there.
it activates, it kind of imprints on like some wild animals and becomes kind of wild.
And I think it starts to help the animals out, and it kind of becomes one with its environment and stuff, but then its true nature is revealed.
So basically, from what I saw in the trailer, a baby bird imprints on it as its mother, and he has to. The robot has to figure out how to teach this bird how to be a bird.
Okay. But also starring the lovely Catherine O'Hara, Bill Nighy, Pedro Pascal, Stephanie who?
I don't know. Nice.
Chris Sanders, if you know who that is, I don't know.
Chris Sanders is the voice of Stitch.
Oh, okay. Got it. Big, huge movie production coming from Francis Ford Coppola.
I thought this movie was already out.
I don't know. Is it?
No, I guess not.
No.
Megalopolis. Kind of like Waffleopolis.
Yeah. It's the story of an architect who dreams of building the city of the future, hoping to enable people to live in a utopia where people only do the work they love to do, which is awesome. Utopia is something people have long sought. Is it attainable? But it's got, again, just a huge cast. So it's got Shia LaBeouf. He's a LaBeouf to me. John Voight, Lawrence Fishburne, Giancarlo Esposito, James Remar, D.B. Sweeney, which I haven't seen for a long time. Adam Driver, I think, is the main person.
I saw a clip where it was said that he hired a bunch of people that are basically blackballed in Hollywood.
Oh, well, that explains a few of these. Forrest Whitaker, Aubrey Plaza, Jason Schwartzman, who I don't think I've seen in anything in quite a while.
He's Carol Kane right now.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, no, he's doing fine.
And then Dustin Hoffman. So, it's like a major cast.
Yeah.
So,
well, it is Coppola.
It is Coppola.
People aren't like, I guess I'll work with Francis. I mean,
that guy.
Settle down.
Yeah, but for some reason, I thought this came out like a year ago.
I don't know. I just saw it coming out 9/13.
I just saw it announced a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if it was out a year ago, Mike, why haven't you seen it?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. But I'd say that.
There is I think this is no, it's not a documentary. It's called Lee, which is an intimate portrayal of a former model and fearless World War II photographer, Lee Miller. It's got Alexander Skarsgård, Marion Cotillard. I think she dated Brad Pitt for a while, but she was in that World War II movie with him where she was the Nazi spy. And he married her, took her back to England, I don't know, or a French spy, I don't remember. Andy Samberg, Kate Winslet is in it, Kate Solomon. So it sounds like a really cool movie. So
Kate Winslet's
check that. Boys, your favorite, another, I guess, reboot of Hellboy coming out, set in the 1950s.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for that yesterday, too.
Yeah,
it looks like a straight horror film.
Hellboy and Rookie Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense agent discover a small community haunted by witches, led by the Crooked Man, a local devil.
Crooked Man's a good one. That's a
troubling connection to Hellboy's past. So, it's got a guy named Jack Kesey as is playing Hellboy. So that's limited theaters on whatever date we're talking about, 9/13.
I wonder if that's a standalone or a...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the third Hellboy, right?
Third iteration.
Third iteration, yeah.
It would be and if he's born
movie.
in 44 or something, right? 44. Or he comes to Earth in 44.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a
Because
young person.
the Nazis are trying to, got the base.
They bring him up.
And then the Americans bust in and rescue him.
So in this Hellboy, he's like 20 or 30 years old. So he's
got to be,
younger
if it's in the
than-
50s.
Yeah, he might be 10. He just ages quickly once he got here. He ate a lot of hot noodles.
No, I mean, because in the other movies, he's older.
Yeah.
It's like in the
Because it's more present day.
yeah. So in this one, he looks younger than previous incarnations of the character.
Oh, man.
So-
That bass was rattling my jaw.
Kidneys even.
Boys Apartment 7A, an ambitious young person dreams of fame and fortune in New York City. And this one looks weird too. I watched the previews for this. But after suffering a devastating injury, an older wealthy couple welcomes her into their home in a luxury apartment building, the Bramford, when fellow resident and influential Broadway producer offers her another chance at fame. It seems that all of her dreams are finally coming true. However, after an evening she can't fully remember, disturbing circumstances soon have her second-guessing the sacrifices she's willing to make for her career as she realizes something evil is living not only in 7A but in the Bramford itself. It's got Julia Garner, Allison Seeger, Jim Sturgis plays the Hollywood or the Broadway producer, like neighbor, and then it's got damn, I just lost her name. I didn't write it down, but older lady Diane Weiss
she's really
from
good.
Law and Order and a bunch of other stuff. She plays the creepy wife of the couple that brings her into the apartment, but it looks like a Rosemary's Baby kind of a thing.
It always is.
It always is. That's coming to Paramount Plus. And I think we're still on 9/13. Yeah. No, we got to be lower than
I'm
9/13.
sure it says Netflix.
Is it Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Paramount Plus, is what they told me. Todd.
Well, I got it from your notes. Unless I didn't,
Paramount
unless
Plus.
I have two movie descriptions all in one.
Yeah, I don't know. Paramount Plus. Movie called Resball. LeBron James is producing this. Can you guess what it is? It's a basketball movie about a Native American high school basketball team that bands together to keep their chances for a state championship alive. I guess one of the star players has hurt himself, so the rest of the team has to kind of come together and try to win. But that's coming to Netflix.
Yeah, according to Sherman Alexie, natives invented basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, the game. The way I remember hearing it is it was something that was the Aztecs.
That kind of based on that, that one where
they use the skull and go through the hoop.
I don't know. Yeah,
the stone hoop.
I don't know. We call that blood ball. I don't know. This is an interesting sounding documentary, guys, from Will Ferrell, Will and Harper. When Will Ferrell finds out his close friend of 30 years is coming out as a trans woman, the two decide to embark on a cross-country road trip to process this new stage of their relationship in an intimate portrait of friendship, transition, and America. And it's got a whole bunch of people. I don't know how they're involved or how they fit into the story, but Will Ferrell, Will Forte, Josh Greenbaum, Tina Fey, Kristen Wiig, Harper Steele, Seth Meyers, all of them. So, documentary coming later this month on Netflix. And then finally, just because it's got another one with kind of a cool cast, there's a movie called Abruptio. It's a horror movie, but Les Hackle is a guy down on his luck who wakes to find an explosive device has been implanted in his neck. So a la, Saw kind of a thing. He must carry out heinous crimes in order to stay alive while trying to identify the mastermind manipulating the now twisted and strange world around it. But it's got Jordan Peele, Robert Englund, Sid Haig. It's got like a litany of...
How is Sid Haig in this? He's been dead for nearly a decade.
Sid Haig? I don't know. He was listed as part of the movie.
Unless it's a different Sid Haig, because Sid Haig is Captain Howdy, right?
Oh. I don't know.
From the...
Is that a
Rob Zombie
Jordan
film.
Peele?
It's not. He didn't produce it or direct it. but he's in it. Yeah, he died a couple of years ago. So maybe it was filmed before he passed or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we still have.
Or maybe had some footage
Ray
of
Liotta
him or
movies
something.
coming out. Yeah.
Maybe it's archive footage.
Could be, yeah.
I met him back in 2011.
Yeah, how was that? Is he a cool guy?
He looked really fucking bored. And we came up, and my brother wanted to get photos with him because my brother loved the zombie films and Rob Zombie movies. And
Bro TiVo.
And
they're using his voice.
okay.
Is what it is. Yeah. Huh. So did you get autographs or no?
My brother got photos with Sid, and he just had this look of.
Yeah.
I'm so done.
He was like, "Yeah, I'm getting paid to be here. I don't really want to be here, but I'm getting paid to."
Should have flashed him.
Yeah.
And then that was the same weekend I met the makeup special effects artist who did a bunch of horror films back in the 80s. Was the dude that had the gun on his crotch in the From Dusk Till Dawn?
Oh,
I can't think of it. I can't think of his name, but he's like a makeup special effects guy, and he did a bunch of like werewolf stuff and zombies and whatever else. And he legitimately just looked like he didn't want to be there. He was like annoyed with life.
Yeah, I look that way when I'm at work every time.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'd rather be doing other shit. It's like, but it's work. You gotta go.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Is there anything that on this list? I mean, Todd's already seen Beetlejuice. Anything that's jumping out at you? Like I gotta go see that. Or
The Francis Ford one for sure. I bet it's
you gonna do
beautiful.
theater for that probably.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm definitely gonna see Wild Robot, and I'm curious to see the new Hellboy.
I'd be curious too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to spend the money for the theater.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm because I have the Regal Unlimited. I'm just gonna like see a couple other movies that month, and then that will be a free movie for me.
Hey, Crooked Man's a cool Hellboy story. I mean, it's not on my top 10, but it's cool.
good.
The Golden Army was a great movie.
Yeah, I thought they did
really
a good job
enjoyed
of that.
one.
Yeah.
I think all the ones that are on like Netflix and Paramount Plus, like the Rebel Ridge and the Will Ferrell one. I'm looking forward to the Will Ferrell one.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of the ones that are on the streaming services, I'll probably watch.
I'm
As a
curious
friend,
about
can I
that.
say, show me your tits?
I'm curious about that Francis Ford Coppola movie, largely because he wanted to hire people who aren't getting jobs because of like whatever they've done to be blackballed.
Yeah.
He wanted to hire them specifically for this.
Surprised
movie.
Mel Gibson's not on.
No, man.
He might have tried.
Yeah.
I mean, Mel Gibson's back in Hollywood. He's not like.
Yeah, no, he didn't get black.
Yeah, that's true.
Which just goes to prove my theory that the Jews don't actually control
Yeah.
Hollywood because he's a
'cause if
Jew
they did-
hater.
I mean, he didn't do anything for a long time. So he.
And then he did the Beaver.
Jodie Foster's.
Saved him with the Beaver.
The Beaver,
Which
yeah.
at first I thought was just like, I couldn't believe it was real.
Yeah.
The Beaver? What do you mean?
It's one of the
movie.
worst ideas for a film ever. It's
movie,
a
The
movie.
Beaver? You don't
I
know
think
that movie?
directed
Yeah.
by Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster
who's
directed
one of the most
it.
talented human beings.
The Beaver's a puppet.
It's insane
And
because he's down
the
on his
guy
luck.
working the puppet,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's
So
really bizarre.
It's bizarre.
Jodie Foster directed Mel Gibson doing a beaver puppet.
Yes.
It's like a ventriloquist kind of thing?
Kinda.
Or?
Yeah,
just-
puppeteer.
Puppeteer.
That's madness.
Just madness.
It's madness.
I think the only movie I've
It
seen.
makes Patch Adams look like fucking the third
Don't mess with
man.
Patch. Yeah. Man.
Yeah. Oh, and that's also Robin Williams. You can't like.
I know, but it's tough.
But the only movie I've ever seen that has Beaver in the title is Zombieverse.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
That
Watch
was
that. 'Cause,
that was fucking hilarious.
And what's the other one? Hundreds of Beavers or whatever?
Hundreds of beavers.
Oh, no, it looks great. It's
what the
just
hell
like
is
a
that?
crazy indie film.
Oh. Like the beavers have gone wild and they're.
Well, he's a lumberjack. It just looks like a crazy green screen fever dream.
Beaver.
Yeah, it looks great. It's either hundreds of beavers or thousands of beavers. I can't remember which. But
Justin
correct.
Bieber's.
Yes.
I'm a beaver.
Belieber.
Beaver.
Belieber.
No, I'm a beaver.
Oh, beaver.
Ah.
Boys, sharing is caring. What have you been up to this week on watching shows or books or movies?
I listened to a good fictional podcast called Chinook, which is like a small town crime that just has deeper roots.
Okay.
And I thought it was well written. It followed itself pretty well.
Nice.
Voice actors were great.
No sci-fi elements, just
Nope.
crime.
They there was a couple of segues where it could have been that way, but yeah.
I've been watching on the Fire TV or the Fire Stick, the live TV that you can watch through Freevee or just on Amazon, whatever. They have one of the new stations they added to the lineup is all like retro cartoons. Like,
Oh, nice.
Like Hanna-Barbera, old school, like Warner Brothers. They've been playing the Beetlejuice cartoon pretty much nonstop for like the past week.
Do you get to pick what's on there, or it's
No,
just
it's just a
channel?
live. It's just a live stream
All right.
of a TV station.
How many seasons/episodes did that cartoon have?
I think it had 2 seasons.
Okay, so like 40 episodes or
Something
so.
like that, yeah. And it was like a Canadian production, so I didn't recognize any of the actors.
Beetlejuice.
Hey, Beetlejuice, eh?
What's it all about?
I'll give you something to cry about. Get a case of Molson, eh?
Yeah, jeez.
I'm not gonna crash this truck. It's a beer truck, eh?
Man, guys, we rented Long Legs, the Nicolas Cage.
yeah.
How was it?
Nicolas Cage puts out. I mean, he goes for it. So if you are a Nicolas Cage fan and you want to see, but he's freaky looking and he's uncomfortable looking, and the movie wants you to be uncomfortable. It's a little twisty. There's not a lot of straight up gore, but there's a couple of scenes, but the twisty stuff, I mean, you might see coming, you might not see coming. It's fairly well done. But it's good. The gal, the main gal, she's an FBI agent, and I think she's somewhere like on the spectrum or something, because she has a way about her, and she gets hyper focused on certain things. She's almost to the point where she's psychic, because she can pick up on cues that the rest of everybody else can't see. So I'll just tell you one scene. They're hunting some serial killer in the beginning of the movie, and they're going door to door, right? And she's with kind of she's a young agent, and they're doing the door to door stuff in this neighborhood. And the cocky partner that she's with is like, "You hang back, I'll go to the door and knock," right? So he goes to a couple doors, and she's like looking around the neighborhood, and she sees something, and I wasn't really paying attention to see, and she's like, "It's that house right there." And the guy's like, "What? All right, well, let me go knock." And the guy walks up and knocks, boom, right in the head. Just because he's FBI, can I ask you some questions? Boom. And then she's like, like, holy shit, But then the whole rest of the time is like, how did you know that, right?
Yeah.
Psychic, and I think she's just really good at picking up on clues. Right?
Like Sherlock Holmes says, most people see, but they do not observe.
Yes.
There was a TV show that just ended. Its final season just ended like a couple months back. The Good Doctor, and it was about an autistic guy who became a surgeon. And in the show, they kind of show him as he's able to like look at the person and kind of like internally kind of deconstruct what needs to be done, and they see all these visuals of him like taking apart the different anatomy pieces and figuring out what might be the problem. And so that sounds like what she's doing. She's like she's able to notice things that the neurotypical people just don't pick up on.
Yeah, picking out patterns. There's also a thing where they're writing in like code, like ciphers, and she's like figures it out pretty quick, right? The cipher, nobody else could figure it out. And, she spends a night with it, laying it out, and looks at it in different directions and different ways to put the patterns together and figures out what it is. But like I said, I mean, it's a decent suspenseful movie. There's not a ton of jump scares. There's not a ton of gore. But Nicolas Cage, man, he gives. He's got very makeup, prosthetics.
He's the killer in this movie?
He's the suspected killer for most of the movie. They're tracking him down.
Okay.
But he's doing his, I'm Nicolas Cage, and I can put out. So if you are a fan,
he's like, I'm gonna be me in this movie, and everyone will think I'm a great actor.
yeah, I mean, definitely watch it. But if you want to wait to not pay for it,
That's kind of where I'm at on it, because I like Nick Cage movies for the most part, but I'm not really interested in that style of movie.
Yeah, didn't he just have a sci-fi one where like you couldn't go out at night?
Yeah,
There's
Arcadia
some kind of
or
creatures-
something.
Yes.
Him and his two sons, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't look.
I don't know what happened.
I haven't seen anything
Yeah,
about
I
that. The
know.
last movie I saw him in was that the Immeasurable.
That was so delightful.
Such a funny movie. Then the Renfield movie, which was hilarious.
Yeah,
too.
I like
Oh
Renfield.
yeah, Renfield was good.
The Arcadian one, I don't know if it even went to theaters, but now you can rent it for like $2.99 or $3.
Geez, maybe I'll do it.
Yeah. On the
I
Amazon
don't
ones
know.
or
I like
whatever.
sci-fi.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I just haven't had time to sit
Yeah.
down, and I just like, I don't want to pay $3.99 if there's other stuff.
Yeah, which there is.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of other stuff.
But it's also got the kid from. Is he from Stranger Things that plays his son, or not Stranger Things? But
Talking about Ben Wolfhard,
is that his name? No,
the one from Ghostbusters.
no, it's not that kid. He's not from Stranger Things. I'm trying to remember what. Yeah, if you look it up, you'll see who it is. But also been watching Chimp Crazy.
Have you? Okay.
Max, we watched
Oh, man.
the first.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4-part series. We watched the first 3 parts of it, and it's bonkers. The people that it's not as bonkers as Tiger King,
Yeah.
because that
Yeah,
guy was just friggin' all over.
He
the
was the
place.
whole thing,
He
dude.
was the whole
Oh, yeah.
full meal deal. But these people that
Yeah.
and they've really honed in on this one lady that PETA went after and said, you're not caring for these chimpanzees in the right manner, sued to take custody of them, and they did, and one of them disappeared. And the whole thing is like, no, he died, and I've got this bag of powder to, we cremated
PETA
him.
says?
No, that's what she's saying. PETA's like, they wanted all 17 chimpanzees at this
But
place.
she
'cause
says
they
that
weren't-
one's missing or whatever.
But, I mean, the wife and I are sitting there commenting because every time they show them getting fed, it's like fast food. It's like McDonald's chicken nuggets, and it's like Powerade, and it's a bunch of different stuff. And you're like, man, don't they feed these animals like healthy stuff, right? It's like we never saw them feed them anything but like junk food.
Just nuggies.
Just nuggies and friggin' even like, here's your milk, and it's chocolate milk and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, it just blew my mind.
Yeah, are they brushing their teeth?
They do.
Oh.
They do. The problem seems
don't
to
know,
be
man.
that they adopt these little chimpanzees, and for the first like 4 or 5 years, they're cute and cuddly. They're like bubbles, right?
Yeah, but
You
they
can-
live 30 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can dress them up in clothes, and you
Yeah.
can take pictures of them. And a lot of these monkeys were in movies and on greeting
right.
cards and stuff
Sure.
like that. But once they hit a certain age, they're a little less cute. They're a little bit more aggressive. They're a little older. They're a lot bigger. They get up to like 200 and something pounds.
No way.
Yes. And it's like, and they've showed a couple where you've heard the stories of the chimpanzee that went after the owner's friend and ripped her face off and stuff. So I mean, they're showing the very dire downsides of
Oh, yeah, no, they're terribly
trading in these
capable
chimpanzees.
machines, man.
So-
Yeah.
But it's fascinating, and they've really honed in. Like I said, they've honed in on this one lady that's just wacky. So she's not as wacky as the
Yeah,
Tiger
yeah,
King, but
yeah.
she's wacky. So
Well, that guy's,
give it a watch. It's
perfect.
free, and it's
Yeah.
on Max, I think.
Oh,
So
chimps are hardcore, man. And once in a while, like MMA dudes will be like, "I'm gonna fight a chimp." It's like, no, you're not, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because they don't fight. They're not gonna box you,
Right.
Like a kangaroo or some shit, dude.
Speaking of kangaroos, there's a thing right now on TikTok of a guy like, I'm going to fight a kangaroo, and this Australian guy goes, no, you're not. And he's like, he shows these kangaroos that are flexing.
Yeah.
They're not just standing there, they're fucking going like that, and they're fucking just all muscle.
Yeah.
And they have fucking biceps that make like Hulk Hogan look like a bitch.
Yeah,
I mean,
oh my
they're
God.
huge.
And they don't have manners.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
It's like, at least chimps, maybe kangaroos do. I don't know. Like what a
Well, the
kangaroo
babies
like.
are easier to sort of,
Oh, sure.
talk to, and you
Yeah.
can kind of, and they're trained like she could, but they have to be behind a cage, right? And they show where they like, you've got to sort of trick them to go into this side of the cage so you can close the door to get into this
Yeah.
side of the cage,
And they're
clean it
super
out,
smart.
and they're super smart.
smart,
It's
yeah.
like, man, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
man.
not a good idea.
I
It's
don't.
not a
I
good
have
idea.
zero interest in seeing that show, but it does sound interesting though.
Yeah, it's
I am
fascinating.
interested in who's the guy who was fucking being a dick. He's sort of an MMA guy. He's bald. People really like the weird incels love him. Andy Tate.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Andrew Tate.
Let's
yeah.
have that guy fight a chimp.
Yes, I would pay for
All
that.
day.
Yeah.
All day.
Oh man.
Yeah. In a cage fight with the cages, like
It'd
in
be awful. I
the
don't know
old
if I would
days
actually
where they had
wish
the
that on
full
that guy.
cage.
Yeah.
Octagon.
Yeah, because
You
I
know,
don't think that, I mean, that's a bad way to go.
I would like to see Andrew Tate go up against Tyson after Paul.
I thought they canceled that. I thought
I think
Paul.
I think it's coming up in November. I think they delayed.
They got pushed back because
yeah.
it was supposed to happen this month.
Tyson got an injury or something, but
Something. He's almost 60, dude.
Yeah.
He's older than I am.
I mean, it's
like-
kind of ridiculous because Tyson would have just flattened him in like 10 seconds if he was 20 something.
Oh, sure.
But a 60-year-old man, it's like
It's different.
He's still pretty fast.
No,
Oh,
I
yeah,
am
yeah,
not
yeah,
saying
yeah.
anything.
No,
he
I-
wouldn't kick my ass
Yeah,
for sure.
No, he's
but,
throwing a lot of punches, but it's
yeah.
just different. It's just different. And that's why old people, myself included, we got to fight dirty.
Yeah.
I'm not going to box some 22-year-old kid, right? And I'm fucking poking your eyes out. No lie. No lie at all.
He's going to take out both ears.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go full chimpanzee, dude.
Smorgasbord.
I mean, he did it to Holyfield, didn't he?
Yeah,
Take
just
off
a
his
little
ear?
piece.
Oh, yeah, just a little
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, because he's from old school shit, man. Customato was an old school trainer.
I recently saw a photo of Evander Holyfield and his ears. Like Holyfield today with his ear, and then it shows a picture of Trump and his current ear.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't see any injury on Trump's ears.
Yeah, I don't know.
was
I mean, I don't know if that. I don't know. If
I
that whole
believe it
thing.
was
If it
100%
was
staged.
an attack on a left-wing American, the right wing would have made up a huge false flag
yeah, yeah.
tale about it.
It would
But
already
they're trying
be-
to steal our gun.
there would already be
or whatever the
so
fuck,
many
but,
conspiracy
since it's
theories
that
and
guy, but it's like,
flowcharts and-
I don't know. The people that he's in bed with are evil and ruthless. I could see him pulling off a false flag on that
Yeah.
guy. I really thought back in the day that. George W. was going to die in office, and Cheney was going to take it. Cheney was going to be the forever president.
Yeah, just get rid of him. But yeah, Cheney's, Ugh.
Yeah, not better.
Not better.
Yeah.
Different, but not better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boys, ending on something positive.
Hey!
I found this. It was a meme that I found, but it was all words. But Count Dracula was 412 when he moved to England in search of new blood. Sauron was 54,000 years old when he forged the One Ring. Cthulhu has seen galaxies flare and fade into darkness before he put madness in the minds of men. What I'm trying to say is, it's never too late to follow your dreams. Oh my God! Thank you all for being here. Thanks to Mike from
that was great.
Fun First Productions coming down and talking about his game. For you folks that are members, we're going to do our top 5 next, and it's all about board games. Our top 5 board games, and then if you're not, then shame on you. You should be.
Yeah, you sure should be,
Go
yeah.
sign up right now at r-channelpodcast.com or go to Patreon.
Yes, cast that shame away.
And we're
Give
not
us
hard
money.
to find.
Yes.
And don't forget, folks, 9/14 this Saturday, as you're watching this, Gong Show at Delancey's on 3rd.
Yeah.
9/14,
Yeah.
doors at 7.
Yeah, I think Sarah's running the bar. It's going to be great.
Nice.
Yeah, no, she's a top-notch human being.
Yeah, $20 to get in, or if you want to, go right now to the website and buy them for $15, and
Yes.
you get a free pickle temporary tattoo that you can
Randy's
put.
getting on stage.
right
You're
there.
not going to spend $15
Yes.
to be able to gong Brandy?
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
It's going to be great. So
Yeah.
get your ass down.
I'll get to gong because I'll be one of the judges this time.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
All right, boys.
All right, thank you.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, blogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.